Yeah.
Hey.
Better?
You're there.
That sounds good.
Sounds
Yeah.
better?
Way better.
Way better.
Yeah, that's really good.
Okay, nice.
See, all that fancy airphone technology, and it means nothing at the end of the day.
These are my
Hardwire.
gaming. These are my gaming headphones.
I was going to say,
Yeah, they sound really good.
you going to go play some
Yeah.
Warzone after?
Hell yeah, buddy.
Yikes.
Are you gaming hard, Zach?
I'm a total sweat, dude.
What does that mean?
Try hard.
Oh.
Chris. Oh, God.
I have a baby coming. I don't have time for fucking lingo and largans.
I've gotten a few dubs in the past few days. Feel pretty good about it.
Sweet.
That a boy.
Are we rolling?
We're rolling. Yeah, we're recording.
All right.
I'm going to triple check this just to make sure. Yeah, we're recording.
Nice. This feels better already.
There we go.
Cool. I wonder if I can't turn this down.
Without further
It is
delay,
loud.
episode 26 is up and rolling. We have our good friend Zachary, the man so nice they named him twice. How are you? Zach, right?
Yeah. Zach. Yeah. It's a cruel joke by my parents.
Cool.
Oh,
Yeah, what's up?
Nothing,
Not
man.
much, man.
Fucking living through this hellhole of world right now.
Yeah, this feels cool though. Feels like we're hanging out.
We are.
Yeah.
This is perfect.
Feels like we're playing
Yeah.
Warzone with you with your big headset on.
That's a good headset.
That's it.
Don't you have a
Yeah.
big one?
I just have
Little
headphones
beach, baby.
and I use this
Okay.
to talk. Yeah.
Do you guys
You
game
stream
together?
though, right?
Not as much as I used to. Just here and there. now.
Okay. You play
Whatever.
Warzone?
No.
You
Too
play
many-
Rainbow Six?
No, I play Valorant now.
That's weak shit, dude.
You could not fucking handle any lobby in that game.
I need realism, man. None of this cartoon bullshit.
Yeah, okay.
I'm with
Let
Zach
me
on this
let me
one.
drop shot real quick.
I want some immersiveness.
Yeah.
I'm with Zach. That's
Okay.
the way to go.
Yeah. So play Warzone. Yeah. Nice.
Isn't Warzone Call of Duty?
Yeah. That's
free.
super realistic.
It's the best one in the world.
That's it.
I'm pretty
Nah.
sure that the army uses those to train.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm
Okay,
pretty sure
Ray-
that is the war simulator. Speaking of simulators.
Yeah, you can run
As a
around.
life.
Hmm?
It's a simulator in our simulator,
Yeah, there you go.
right?
Before we get started,
No.
I need to do a quick shout out. Our buddy Follett has a YouTube channel now.
What?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
Hell yeah.
yeah. Our buddy Chris.
he
Anyone that's listening, it's called Chris Makes Pizza, and it's him making pizza, homemade
No
pizza.
way.
Yeah,
No,
it's
no
really
way.
good.
Why didn't he tell me?
Okay, wait. How many videos does he have?
He just put one out today. He has 4. He just started. He said that
Nice.
we.
Is it just like, what's the concept? A different flavor pizza?
So
every
it's
time?
like a really relaxing like how to make pizza video.
Like an artisan video
Pretty much,
of
yeah.
making pizza.
There's like nice
I love
piano, soothing music in the background. No talking, just him and his hairy arms. And he makes the dough. He makes the pizza. It's really good.
That's
I wanna
fucking
try
cool.
one. Yeah, he said that us doing the podcast inspired him to do something like that as well.
Yeah, nice.
So big shout
Man,
out
see
to
right
Chris.
there. I love that right there. Look at this. Look at you guys. You're inspiring people.
Barely.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't take it that far, Zach.
Yeah, but he did say that that was an inspiration. So
Yeah, cool.
big ups to Chris, and I wanted to shout him out so that anyone listening, it's called Chris Makes Pizza.
That's a really hard title to come up with.
Go
I don't know how he came up with that. We should have talked to him about coming up with a name for the podcast.
listen. We're giving him the bigs up. Don't be an asshole right now. Sick
At
of
least
that.
he didn't ask you guys for your logo.
Thank God. It took forever to get a logo.
Oh, shut up. Oh my god.
So yeah, shout out to Christopher. Congratulations. Anyone go and like and subscribe. Smash that like button, as they like to
Oh,
say.
Jesus. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. You can start doing those because we have a YouTube.
Okay, plug it.
2 seeds in a pot on
There you
YouTube.
go.
First video will drop. What's today? Sunday? Tomorrow. Then another one Thursday till we're caught up, and then it'll be every Monday.
Okay, what's your YouTube intro? 3, 2, 1, do it.
The intro that is for the
This is the
podcast.
intro right now.
Yeah,
We're recording
literally.
it. Are you listening? Shut up. Cut it. Right
Cut
there.
it right there.
Are you listening? Shut up. I like it. That should be the intro. 2 seeds in a pod. Are you listening? Shut up.
Shut your whore mouth. Listen to me. Now listen to you.
Oh my god, we need to have like a weekend up at the cottage where we can just record dumb shit.
This is actually I'm really excited that Zach's here. One, because It's our good buddy. I mean, it's nice to have friends on here.
I'm glad we figured it out.
Finally figured this out. Also, Zach is a Bachelor fan, and I want to talk about Bachelor with people. CJ rolls his
right.
eyes.
I'm gonna go hang out with
there's actually
Antonia.
they're trying to cancel the host step down. There's some crazy shit.
That's true. There's a lot of
I
drama
hope everybody's
in Bachelor
fucking
Nation
stepping
right
down.
now.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the one? So usually it's Chris Harrison who tells me that, coming up, the most dramatic moment in Bachelor Nation. You've never seen what we're about to go through, yada, yada, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I always make fun of it with Brittany.
Yeah. It's always the most dramatic season yet. The most
who's going
dramatic
to talk
moment.
about it now? Yeah.
Not Chris
So
Harrison.
now that he's involved in maybe the most dramatic moment, actually, who's speaking about it?
Zach,
I'll tell
are
you
you
what.
slapping something?
I was opening my AirPod case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Throw that
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. Throw that out the fucking window.
Sorry. I've never done this before.
It's okay.
He's
At the
nervous.
start, man, when I was first doing it, I was like tapping the table. I was clicking pens.
We were in the garage, so Chris, we would like
I would
move
shuffle
our
my feet. Be
and,
sanding.
Oh.
and yeah, you'd hear that. Oh, it's
nice.
so
It's
bad.
okay. Now you know.
Okay. I'm only surrounded by soft things now, so no more.
There
no
you
more
go.
noise.
Any fuzzy things? Pet the furry wall.
Yeah, so
No.
so CJ, the host of Bachelor, has stepped down. Do you know if he's coming back? Because I know he said it was a temporary basis.
I'll be honest, I don't actually know a ton about that circumstance. I know that he's involved in some scandal. That's basically the extent of
Yeah.
my knowledge.
We
so
should put
he's not
scandal in
coming back.
quotations because
not
today's
coming back.
definition of scandal is very loose, I think.
Is he being canceled?
Yeah, he's not coming back. Dude, when you step down for a scandal, that's it. You're done. You're canceled.
I'll
Deuces.
tell you what. He's maybe the only reason that I think a lot of people watch. He's like
That
he's
doesn't matter.
he's TV dad. He's gone.
Dude, that doesn't
What's
matter.
there to-
Look at Saturday
what's there to
Night
keep me coming?
Hockey. Look at fucking Don
What?
Cherry. Don Cherry got canceled. He never come back. People still watch hockey.
But Ron
People are
McClane
still
was
gonna
the
come
host
back.
of that show. John,
Yeah.
Don
Yeah.
wasn't a big part of it, though.
I was gonna say,
Come
I think
Ron McClane's a bigger part than Don
Come
Cherry
on.
was.
I don't,
He is.
I
That's
don't
true.
fucking pay attention to that shit anymore now that Don's
Ron
not on
McClane
there.
was just there to keep everybody in check.
Yeah.
Don would do
And
his thing
kind of
and Ron would
keep
go,
Don's
okay.
head in the right track.
I think
Okay.
he was losing it for a while up until then. So
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
100%.
Mhm.
not a
So
big loss.
they are trying. I don't know if he canceled himself. He fucked up.
What do you do?
Did he write an erotic novel, by the way?
I hope he did.
I think he did.
Is
He
this a
better.
rumor?
He's on the He's the host of The Bachelor and Bachelorette. The
Really?
amount of stories
He's
that
got-
man probably has.
He's kind of a pimp.
I don't believe it. I think he's drunk most of the time he's doing the show. Like I love watching the show because I don't know, you watch it, Zach, so I don't know if you ever get this, but have you noticed that he's incapable of being serious even for a little bit? He always has like this shit-eating grin on his face, and I love it. It's my favorite part. He always is like girls are like crying to him, and he's like, yeah. He's just got this slimy,
You know what,
lucky
man?
face on it.
It's because you need comedic relief.
He's
Dude.
barely a human.
That show would be too emotionally draining for all of us if it weren't for that little shit-eating grin.
I agree. I like him. He cracks me up because he doesn't give a fuck at all, and it's very obvious. But
I don't
I
know,
like
how,
that he
I don't know
comes
how you
in-
guys watch this shit.
Brittany and I have talked about like the little things. So here we go. I have a couple things we can talk about The Bachelor if
Perfect.
you want. Some content, if you will.
yeah, let's go for it.
Here are my gripes. It's like little stuff like, and I'm sure there are unspoken rules behind the scenes, and I would love to know what they are. So, for example, like there's all these like various different disagreements and like little fights that are happening, and I talk about this all the time. If they could just reference the fact that you're on a TV show, I feel like a lot of these things could be solved. People are like, you said this. No, you said this. No, like, I didn't say that. Like, where's the people coming forward and being like, we're being recorded?
Yeah, you're recording this,
Like,
right?
there's evidence.
Well, that actually
But
happened.
I think, yeah, it did. So
Yeah.
up until that moment, I know the moment you're talking
Mhm.
about. Up until then, I was always saying, like, I bet you there's a rule that says, like, okay, well, you're on The Bachelor. You can't reference that you're on a TV show, that you're being recorded, that this is like reality TV. I thought that might have been a rule.
that is also
so that
true.
there is no like, so it doesn't take you out of the like immersiveness
Yeah,
of watching.
That is true because you know how they're always referring to like the process or like the journey and stuff like that. So
Yeah, but
that's
they never say
that
show.
that's a word to replace show or
Mhm.
recording and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I
they
think
do
you're
give
right.
them words to like dilute the fact, like, hey, pretend that you're not on TV. But
Yeah.
what Zach's referring to is true because like there's always a psychopath, or in this case, lots of psychopaths on the show. So
I
they'll
think if you're on that
Surprising.
show,
Yeah, I
you've
know.
got- I
Surprising.
think if you're on that show, you've got some problems.
well,
I
okay,
think that's a requirement.
On both sides too. I think if you're the bachelor and if you're a contestant,
yeah, it's
if
all
you think this is going to
across.
solve your problem of like not being able to meet someone.
Well,
I
so
think you I think you got another thing coming.
I have a new theory now about this thing because although the group of people is getting shittier every time, guys and girls, like the contestants on the show, occasionally there's a few that like I don't know if you notice this, Zach, or like ones you like that sneak through and like they seem kind of normal. You know what I mean? And then like as the weeks progress, you're just waiting for the shoe to drop, and they're like, oh, by the way, like I was
Do you know who I
abandoned as a child and all these things. Like, and then it comes out like, oh, that's why you're on the show. But now I think that there's occasionally the odd normal one because I think it might be so bad to be single right now and deal with Tinder and shit like that, that maybe this is
Yeah.
a better chance of finding someone who's committed to you than fucking anything else. But this is my
So I got
crazy brain.
I had a couple things to say on that. I mean, like I think this season specifically had some good moments where, and it's timely. You know, this is maybe the most like woke season of The Bachelor.
Oh, thank
There
God.
was a lot of like, you know, quote unquote bullying or whatever that was going on, and it got addressed pretty well. I was actually really pleased with the way it was.
Yeah. The
You
dildo
know, like,
girl
they
did a
shut
really
that
good
shit
job.
down. She was cool.
Yeah.
CJ's looking all weird now, but like
What? I want to hear
There's
this.
a girl that
Yeah.
she came in with a dildo. It was like her entrance. It
Yeah,
was
that was
Oh,
like
you
her
told me
prop,
that. You
yeah.
told me that. Yeah. Sorry.
But she was
um,
really mature. Like there was a lot of bullying by like,
yeah, she handled it well.
because all the girls were like 22, 23. They were all out of university and they're all in the
Yeah.
fucking prime internet age where they're just used to being vicious to people. And they were being fucking horrible. They were.
Yeah, they were.
And
And
the
it got
girl,
handled. Like it got shut down.
yeah, she did a
So
pretty
that was
good job.
cool. I also think the most sane people on the show are the ones that like realize they can't handle the process and leave.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no kidding. This is the hardest shit ever.
It's ridiculous. You know, this is a TV show, right? Like you were saying.
Right, they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm gonna go. And I'm like, yeah,
Good
I get
call.
that.
Yeah.
I
That's a
probably
very,
could do that.
that's a really good decision.
Oh, you don't want to share your boyfriend with 17 other women?
Bold strategy.
Wow.
Yeah. Weird, but okay.
Yeah. Grow up.
But yeah, so just because CJ doesn't know what we're talking about, and most people probably don't. There was a lot of drama for like 2 or 3 weeks, and it was like girls were being fucking nasty to each other, and it finally got settled by like this 2-on-1. And this one girl was saying to the other girl, she's like, the one girl was like oblivious, like she's recorded on camera being a cunt and like talking shit to other people, and then when she was getting confronted about it, she's like, I never did any of those things. I only preach love and all this shit. Literally, you've never seen her do that. And the one girl's like, it's being recorded. Like, you're going to see.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a great moment.
Yeah, it was the first time ever in like 20 years of this show being on that
Yeah.
someone was like, okay, you'll see when you go home. It's fucked.
You'll see it. So everybody else has seen it.
It broke my theory. So much for my theory about not being able to mention it. Maybe they made an exception.
Well, I think there's always the heat of the moment stuff that they can't control. I think your
Yeah.
theory is also sound and true because there's always like producers are fucking trying to get them to pretend the cameras aren't here, talk to us, all this shit. And that's why like you always see like the girls like off this outside talking to someone who they never show. It's a producer. There's a lot of this show where like the girls think they're not being recorded and then the producers are just fucking definitely recording it.
Mhm.
And then using that information against them to get good
My
TV.
favorite shit is where they try and like have those moments, those like the crazy moments where like you'll see like cameraman or like boom mic guy. And I also have another theory that like those people aren't recording or anything. They're just like there to
Yeah.
be filmed by the real camera crew so that it looks really candid.
Oh fuck, you might be right. Yeah, because they're always like caught in a fast moving shot. Like there's
That's
a
right.
cameraman, there's a boom guy.
Yeah. Those
There's
are
a
just
guy.
actors.
There's a guy giving Chris Harrison a donut.
Yeah, actors, all of them.
I'm with you. I think this show is mostly fake.
Yeah,
And
it's all contrived.
you know, CJ's shocked. I know. He's like, "Are you guys out of your minds?" Yes, of course we are.
Okay.
But hear me out. It's fun. It's a
Okay.
fun game. It's fun to talk about.
Okay.
There's I always love peering behind the curtain, Zach, like you were saying, is like you see like a guy there that's holding a boomstick or whatever. But I love like really seeing this shit. So like if there's like a rug that's like over top of like cables that are laying on the ground, I'm always like, there's a rug with cables living over top of it. And every time they go to like on a date or they're in a group setting or something like that, the backgrounds are always the fucking same. And in this season in particular, you actually see what they are. It's just fucking posters at the backdrops that they put up.
Yeah.
So like they'll be in nice rooms and nice hotels, and they always put up the shittiest backdrops. It looks like out of a 1990s soap opera. Every
It's
day.
weird, eh?
You know that? Like
I didn't notice that, but I'm bad at picking up like background details. I
I
keep
always
saying
pick up
Brittany.
on
Brittany's
that
my
shit.
girlfriend, but she keeps pointing out stuff in the backgrounds that like I wouldn't notice, but she's good at stuff like that, or like oh, that person's left-handed. I'm like I wouldn't have
Yeah,
thought that.
that's a little extreme.
I love it though. That's what I
Yeah.
do. Like I'm always like noticing the finer details.
I like
Yeah.
watching it, and so I was watching. It was like one of the shows out in BC where like the tow truck ones.
Okay.
My brother always has that shit on at the house, and
Ice road truckers?
no, it's some other one where they actually like pull like semis out of ditches and
Oh, okay.
like crashes and shit. So they're pulling out this transport truck that's got cars all on the back, and they're just about to start pulling it. And the clip they go to, the thing's halfway out. It's like, you're just starting, but the thing's already halfway out.
Yeah, like some other
come
crew
on,
was
You
there.
didn't have another clip
That's
you
the
could have
magic
cut
of
to. Like,
television.
come on, cut to something different.
Exactly.
And the rug,
Yeah.
it's there for safety to cover the cables, so nobody trips
Yeah, that's
over
true.
the cables.
Oh, I know why it's there.
Are you sure?
But I like seeing those things that
you
aren't
like
supposed to be in the
capturing
shot.
it? Yeah,
That's the stuff that's
It's
fun.
it's like the
Well,
Starbucks cup in
Yeah,
Game
exactly,
of
Zach.
Thrones.
Pardon?
It's like the Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones.
I never saw that.
Oh, really? I saw. The
I know
clip.
that it was a thing.
Listen,
That's hilarious.
you're opening up in a can of worms here.
Let's
'cause
go into it.
that-
We got
that
all the
was
time.
paid
in the world.
I could talk.
advertisement.
I could talk about that the disappointment of season 8 with you for a long time. here.
I'm be down with that because
Um,
I think we found
Okay.
it majorly. I found it majorly disappointing.
So did I.
Yeah. It was
Season
awful.
8.
How disappointing! And I read a thing recently where someone talked about how badly they fucked up that last season, ruined the rewatchability of that show in its entirety.
I would believe that because
Facts.
you'll
Like-
never be able to unsee the end, right?
What are you gonna do? Watch seasons 1 through 7
Why?
and not
Like,
watch 8.
yeah,
Like,
and not finish it?
yeah.
if
like,
your
so-
kids want to watch it, just be like, watch the first 7 seasons and then imagine what happens.
It was really just the
I
last
guess, yeah.
episode that they fucked up on, though. Because
No, they fucked
That
up.
was
the
the
whole
I thought the
season,
battle.
The whole season was
I thought
bad.
the battle was fucking good. Like where
Yeah, but there was
They-
so many.
There was more.
Sure, the
there was
relevance-
more things that weren't battles than like all the story
Sure,
plots
yeah.
just kept getting like neat little bows and like when Arya just appeared out of nowhere and killed the ice guy.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
was like,
yeah,
okay,
there-
There's definitely holes in the.
yeah, I was like,
in the
okay,
whole
perfect. There's
thing.
going to be more to this for sure. No, and that was it.
Yeah, that was it.
You know what?
But
It
they
was
did
just the
that.
directors had that Star Wars deal coming up, and they just wanted to be done with it.
They-
So they washed their hands of Game of Thrones. They were like,
Probably
okay,
right.
well, here we go.
They
How
did
could
that
you
a
really bad?
lot.
How can we
You
ruin
do it-
another series?
Yeah, seriously.
They
You do,
did
but
that
you
a
do
lot,
your fans
though.
a disservice. You know, like you have loyal fan base, arguably like one of my favorite shows I've ever seen. It was this incredible universe that so many people were invested into, and you to do it so poorly, like it's not a new topic. Like it's been talked about a lot, but like it's bitter, man.
I agree with
like
you.
I feel like I'm reading the books right now.
Antonia's read all of them.
I don't want to do that.
I haven't read any of them. I needed something to read that was just like chill and like something for enjoyment.
They'll disappoint you too
Um,
because he hasn't finished the series. She's been waiting for years for him to finish the
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
And
The
he's like,
books are
"Oh,
good,
I'm gonna
so-
do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it." And I'm not sure if you've seen him lately, but he's fat, old, and really out of shape.
He better not
Like
get
he's-
COVID.
he could die any day now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he keeps teasing at it too. That like I followed along a little bit with what he's been saying, just from like various people's posts and whatnot. But yeah, so I just started the first book. I'm almost done. It's pretty good.
Apparently, they're
Oh,
really
what
good.
else are you gonna do? Yeah, nicely written, and it's cool to kind of read it after having watched the show. Not that I don't like the ability to like use your imagination and what have you, but now there's like reference point too, like various
Faces.
characters. I feel like the show was cast pretty well. I like all the people in it.
The acting in that
Yeah.
show was really good, I must say.
It's great.
Like there's always like shit you can point into the plot points and stuff like that, but yeah, I mean they nailed that show for like 7 straight seasons, and then the
Yep.
writing just took a dive off of dived off a short bridge into a
Mhm.
transport truck.
Off the wall, if you will.
Yes,
They left a
precisely.
lot of
Yeah.
like plots like empty. They never came back to it. Like from season 1
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, they did.
Like,
man.
right
That's
from the
what a lot of people
beginning-
are frustrated about.
They would someone would have a breaking moment with a character, like a main character, and it was like, oh, we're gonna see them again, whether it's now or in season 7,
Just doesn't get touched
and
on.
it's just gone. There's nothing there.
You had Sam Tarley find that like that horn or knife or something. He finds it like frozen out in the when they're north of the wall.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be some important tool to like use against the White Walkers.
yeah.
Well, they just never
It never
brought that
came
up
back
again.
to it.
Yeah,
There
what
was
the hell?
there was somebody like I think it was Arya that Arya talked to, and it's like it was a big moment at the time because it made her.
Yeah, like the whole many-faced god, and like that whole subplot that was like kind of cool,
Yeah,
like
and
kind
it
of
just
creepy. Like a
stopped.
girl has no name, blah blah blah. Like
Yeah,
where did that go? So she like
she is the
just
many faced
stabbed
god.
the
like,
main.
fuck.
She just stabbed the main bad guy in the stomach. That was it.
Yeah, done. Cool.
Killed by a little.
But you
girl.
don't even know she did. It didn't show you.
Yeah,
It just
stupid.
cut to like the thing, and the candle blows out, goes dark, and then that was it.
Well, she definitely killed her
But you don't know that.
for sure.
You know it.
We know.
No, because it could have been that guy and put on Arya's face.
Now you're making me feel like I'm a stupid person.
Well-
you know she died,
No, you don't know that.
but okay, but
You don't know that. For 100%, you know she's dead. No, exactly.
yeah, I would know
Exactly.
that. No, hang on.
No.
Don't just act like a 5-year-old right now. The reason that we know that is because they didn't address anything differently. They would have
True.
addressed that at the time. If it was like a big twist at the end, we're like, oh, Arya's not her, and fucking in fact, they would have gone back to that and addressed it. So yeah, we know
I don't
that.
think they would have, though, because look at, again, like what me and Zach were just saying, how many things they just left.
Yeah, but I think that was them wrapping up that storyline, though.
Yeah.
That scene.
They're not good at wrapping
They were
up
just trying to-
storylines.
They
They're
actually
finding,
were good
like-
at wrapping up storylines. They just fucked up the last season because they needed to end the series.
Depends on how you want to say good at it. They were good
Yeah.
at it in
They-
the sense that they got it done expeditedly.
they were efficient with it.
Good at wrapping,
Yeah.
We're really good at wrapping them up.
They were efficient
You
with
wanna-
it.
you
They
wanna
weren't
enjoy
exactly
it,
good at
But
it.
we can wrap this shit up in no time.
Yeah.
Got a storyline you need wrapping up? Call us.
Yeah, call us.
We'll wrap it
We'll
up.
fucking do it. It won't be good, but we'll do it.
What
Yeah,
did
your fans will hate it.
what did those
So
guys
they'll be
go on
wrapped
to
up.
write that was Star Wars?
They didn't. They were going to go on to Star Wars. They got fired off of it, I think, or they
Fuck
or the
yeah.
project fell through.
It's
Either
probably
way,
a
it didn't
shit
happen.
ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, you want to do what with the story?
Yeah.
No.
No. We
Yeah.
have something that's way worse than that we're gonna put on the big screen.
Yeah, we've got like another 12 in the pipe right now. Okay?
Oh my
We're
God.
gonna milk this shit till it's done.
Okay, so back to The Bachelor, just because CJ doesn't know. So the reason that I'm just gonna explain to
Yeah,
people
yeah, go
why
ahead.
the host is stepping down. So one of the contestants on the show now in 2018 was at an antebellum party with her sorority sisters, which took place on a plantation, and they just dressed up old timey.
Yeah.
And there's literally one photo of her there. And then people wanted to cancel her for that because it was allegedly racist, which, okay, I think we're reaching for things, but I think we've been doing that in society a lot lately. And so Chris Harrison, the host, went on to like E-Talk or some shit and was asked about it. And he's like, I think this is ridiculous. Like, we should show this girl some grace. Because like people were like, as they do in cancel culture, they like attack your family. They're like digging into her
Mhm.
past and they're like looking for more things because like they're trying to cancel her over a photo and some she did when she was fucking like 19 years old.
Yeah, that's how everything. When
So-
somebody gets canceled, that's what. They
Yeah, I
do.
know. But so he defended her and he's like, this is stupid. We shouldn't be doing this. And then they attacked him and tried to cancel him because he was excusing racism, which I still haven't seen what's happened yet.
Yeah,
And then, so like an idiot, he apologized, which you can't do now because
If you apologize, then yeah.
they're never no one's ever satisfied with an apology now.
Well, I think also there's the whole thing. Like, I don't know. I'll say my views on the whole thing. Like, our dad is a white male, you know, so I get it. But also, like, I think if you apologize, I think then you're opening up the door for like, you apologize, therefore, are you admitting what you did was wrong?
Well, you
know,
shouldn't,
like,
because
I don't know.
they're not, you can't just apologize and then they're going to be like, okay, he said he's sorry. That's good enough for us. No, they're
No, it's
not
not,
going to be
yeah.
happy until he fucking loses his job or his life is totally destroyed. Then they move
Yeah.
on to the next
Yeah.
one.
I
So-
do think it can be a bit extreme.
Fucking definitely extreme in this
Yeah.
case, I think. So he apologized and then like an idiot. And then they still attacked him further. And he's like, okay, I'm stepping down. temporarily, he
You
says.
just have had enough of it.
Well, I don't know. That's as far as I went. I just thought the whole thing was stupid because I don't think that anything racist transpired. You know, like it's
Yeah, they had an old historical location. They dressed maybe period correct, but I think maybe was the issue people had that like maybe there were no visible minorities or people of color at
but that's
the event.
not the issue, Zach, because they picked it off.
I know
of
that's
one
not the
photo.
issue.
Yeah.
I know that's not the issue, but I'm assuming maybe that's where it stems from. Maybe how the event was handled. Who knows? I don't think what it sounds like the girl did was wrong, but also I don't know anything about the circumstance. Either way, Chris Harrison wasn't there, so that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
But you can tell people to relax on someone attacking your parents over one photo and not have to be at the party to speak on it, I think.
Sure.
Yeah. Like he was asked about it, so he gave his own opinion. It's not like he just like came onto the show and was like, "I'm here to speak about this subject." Like the girl that was hosting the interview asked him and he gave his opinion, and then people are like, "Your opinion's terrible. You should be fired."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, I agree with you."
It's so dumb.
I guess so, yeah.
But it's gotten so fucking crazy. I don't understand.
Cancel culture is so
I don't blame him for
fucked.
stepping down. Maybe he was trying to get ahead of it. Maybe he was like, listen,
How
I've seen
many
where this
seasons has
goes.
he done though?
I think Zach's right. I think he's probably seen the writing on the wall with this show. Like,
Well, maybe not with the show. I meant like I think maybe he's seen the way cancel culture works and the way that it's transpired for other people that have tried to like hang on and resist maybe their own cancellation, if you will. So he was like, listen, if this is the way it's going, he's like, I'm gonna get ahead of it. I'll step down now. You guys can save your breath.
Yeah. I
Like
guess.
I'm not going through the process. Like maybe he just didn't want to.
well,
like-
because they were probably going to start digging into his fucking past, probably. But
Sure, yeah, and who knows? Maybe like I think the likely reality with shit like that and why cancel culture ends up working, unfortunately, is because I think a lot of people have stuff that they've published online, whatever, that like probably you maybe either don't agree with anymore, was a byproduct of the time when you posted it, that maybe like opinions that aren't valid any longer or have views that are conflicting, etc. And so like if you are faced with a scenario where people are going to delve into everything you've put out there, especially if you're a public figure, you're thinking, no thanks, I don't want that.
I think
So I'm just I'll quit and appease you guys, and we can leave it at that.
appease the woke gods, and then everyone's worse off for it.
yeah. It is smart on him, but again, how many seasons? What season are they on? And he's been there since
186.
season 1, right?
You rate day one, yeah.
Yeah. So okay, come on, guy's not hurting. Again, if he stays and he fights,
Oh no, he'll be fine.
the thing that happens is
I think he should stay and fight. He didn't do anything
no,
wrong.
but so what happens is the big they'll just say, okay, we can't have you on because we don't want any backlash coming at us. Like the
Well, that's all it comes down to. Is
And
it
that's all it is.
It's the
Like, all
network
their-
too.
It's
all the
definitely a
network, all the sponsors, they're like, we don't want to work with this guy. Just
Yeah,
puts a
well, they
bad
have to
name
look-
on us, and
'Cause
then
his
Exactly.
apology was like, you could tell it was like the network put it to him, and it is like, are
Yeah.
you cool with this being your apology? He's like,
whatever.
sure. Because like it was so like it was ridiculous. It's like I don't even
Oh, I'm
understand
sure.
what this apology is about. It doesn't make any sense.
Pretty wild, man.
It's getting fucking ridiculous. I don't like everything is just a fucking huge deal, and everyone's just like, okay, that's fine. We'll just let another person just disappear into
Everybody
into the
just rolls
wilderness.
over, and I think that's.
Well, that's why
I don't think you can fight it, but I think you got to pick and choose your battles. Again, he's been on for
Yeah.
100 something
Well,
seasons.
I'm all for saying
Like,
my
listen,
battle
here's
would be I didn't do anything racist, so I'm not stepping down because you say I'm being racist.
True.
Like that's a good battle. That's a
Yeah.
good hill to die on because they're literally saying you're excusing racism, you were doing all this shit, and he wasn't. And if you don't believe that you were doing that, then what better hill to die on? Hey, I'm literally not the thing that you're trying to paint me out to be.
Yeah.
You know, like fuck it. But
I don't know.
but
think there's a
he's
lot
been
of-
in the fucking TV world for so long that's just he's not a real human. You can
Maybe
tell
he was
watching
looking
the
for
show.
a way out already.
It probably was. Right off
Yeah.
into the fucking sunset. He's done well with that show.
He's an erotic novelist now.
Okay, where is this coming from?
Good for him.
This is the second time you've mentioned it.
I'm looking at that.
Yeah, look this shit up. I want to know what you're talking
dude,
about.
he's probably got crazy stories.
Well, I was
'Cause,
saying to
again,
Antonia.
I'm pretty sure they record 24/7
Oh yeah,
in the house.
you
like,
see nothing.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah, you see
And there's
nothing.
probably some crazy shit that happens on camera that doesn't get fucking posted.
Mhm.
Like they probably got fucking, they could put out thousands of pornos.
I hope so.
They probably could if they wanted to. They could dive into that industry.
So yeah, Chris Harrison's written a book. It's called The Perfect Letter. A novel by Chris Harrison, host of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette.
Guess he has to remove that title, eh?
It
Former.
says from him. Here's from the back cover. Okay, I don't have it by the way. I'm reading this is from Amazon, but from the man who knows a thing or two about love.
Oh yes, he does.
Yeah. William
He's also
Merrill.
divorced.
Yeah, Leah Merrill spent 10 years running away from her past, but now she's going back. Talented young book writer or editor, in New York City. She leads a life rich of writing, parties, romance, as far as the dust of her grandfather's horse farm in Texas.
This is getting.
She's engaged
I'm
to
starting to
Joseph.
get erect already.
Yeah. A brilliant, generous man who adores her. Still, while she's invited to a writers' conference in Austin, Leah can't help but feel that Texas, with all of its tangled secrets, is calling her name. Is that getting you going?
I'm in.
Chris,
I'm all in.
Chris was in from the first word.
Yeah.
He knows a thing or two about love.
From the word jump, I'm all in on that. That seems like a great book.
Yeah.
I'm still not certain what it's about though.
Doesn't tell you much, does it?
No, it doesn't. It just kind
There's
of
a writer.
it just uses
She's in New York.
Yep.
But Texas is calling.
because it has tangled secrets.
Yeah, Texas likes to book.
Yeah, they fucking certainly like to. Fuck. That book, I guarantee you, is just cliches and hot buzzwords. Because that's what it
Speaking of-
sounds like in
have
the
you,
synopsis.
Speaking of podcasts and erotica, have you listened to
My dad wrote a porno.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the one.
It's really good.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So good.
I listened to the first season and then I couldn't keep listening to it after a while. Like I got like 2 or 3 episodes
I
into the
have the
second
book.
season. Did you buy it?
I got it as a gift.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Have you heard of
Belinda
this,
Blink.
CJ?
No.
Oh, you should check this out. It's called My Dad Wrote a Porno. It's a podcast. And this guy, he found out that his regular old dad wrote a fucking like erotica novel.
They're British, so it's like
Yeah.
quite British in its humor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he reads it with his friends.
One of our
It's
dads
so good.
wrote an erotic novel.
Exactly. And we just like
and then we
found
sat
out.
around reading it.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's outrageous. Belinda Blinked, I think it's called.
Yeah, I love when they're like, yeah, it's called Belinda Blinked. The main character is Belinda, and they're like talking about it, and the friends are like, so did your dad ever have like a family friend named like Melinda? Like, do you know anybody with a vaguely similar name?
And the best is because it's so poorly written. Like there's like glaring plot holes.
bad.
He'll be like, so Belinda was at the coffee shop with James, and then like, so back at the movie theater with James, it's like that bad.
Oh
it's
my
like the
God.
setting will change, like who she's with will change.
But also, like, I love that like the back information is like, I think the guy's dad was from like a sales background. So like in the novel, the characters are in sales, and so like every so often there's like full chapters about
Just
like
on
the
sales.
ins and outs of sales. And like they're talking about it, being like, get to the good stuff, man. Like, where's the erotica? Like, we don't care about the sales.
And the sex scenes are like weirdly graphic. I guess
Yeah, but not
I guess
in a
they're
good-
supposed to be, but
Not in a good way.
no, not like in a 50 Shades of Grey way. Like just like clearly one of our dads just like was typing maniacally at a computer and this was just spilling out of his brain. Because like he'll try to be sensual at times and then he'll just like throw in like, then she got fucked hard. Like
Well, there's that, but then there's like other stuff that he thinks sounds totally sexy. Like, be like, Belinda removed her bra and her breasts plunged to the earth.
Yeah.
And, like they'll be like, nobody wants their breasts to plunge, man. Like, no woman wants that. You know, like,
which is a good compliment to Homeboy's mom, because obviously his dad is thrilled that his mom's breast plunged to the floor when she whips those bad
Yeah.
boys out.
plunging.
Oh my God. That's
Oh,
fucking
fuck.
hilarious.
So what do you think, Zach? If Harrison's done next year, are you out? You tapping out of the series? I'm thinking about it.
Listen,
Y'all still watch.
I live in a pretty small house. There's no way for me to avoid The Bachelor, but it could end tomorrow, and I'd be pretty thrilled.
Yeah.
I watch it. I enjoy it while it's on.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be missing it if I stopped.
No, if it left my life, I would probably be better off for it.
Chris Harrison's. I'll tell you what. Chris Harrison's gone. I'm gone.
All right.
I'll sign that petition.
I'm already gone.
You've just lost a viewer.
Consider yourself fucked. Well, that's the thing
Yeah.
that's the thing that bugs me about him stepping down for these people aren't watching the show. They don't care. So
He also doesn't do anything. I should point out.
Oh, it's amazing.
As much as I think he's great, like, and he's
he's
funny.
useless.
So, like, when they have the rose ceremonies, like, they'll get down to the last rose. Chris Harrison comes out and he's like, "Ladies, you know, whatever the person's name is, so and so, this is the final rose." Like, thanks, Chris. We couldn't see that.
Every
It's a
fucking
table
time.
right in front of us.
I couldn't
with one
count.
rose on it.
Yeah. Every
I thought there
fucking
was one
time.
hiding behind it.
The best one was last week because he was only giving out, there was only 2 roses. Because it's getting down like were they down the final 3 now or 4? 4, I guess.
Yeah, something. Whatever.
Something,
hometowns
doesn't
is.
matter. But there was 2 roses left. And so like it's like all dramatic and he like gives out the rose and then all of a sudden like fucking Chris, I'm like, they still sent him out for just to come out and be like,
Yeah.
"Okay, ladies, this is the final rose of the evening." And then he walks away. He's like, "Yeah, we know. There's 2.
Thank you.
He just said
I
one."
love the contestants too, being like, "Oh my god, like, if I don't get a rose this week, that means I'm going home." Like, yeah,
Yeah.
obviously.
That's how it
How did
works.
you
That's
fig-
how the show
How
works.
did you figure
Yeah.
that out?
Glad she's here. I didn't
Man,
think of
that-
that.
They're always talking about time, man. I want to know how many times time is mentioned on the show. Oh my god, she came on, she
Can't
stole
get
my
enough
time.
time.
I didn't have time. I didn't get enough time. I'm gonna go home because I had no time.
Never have enough time.
Well, yeah,
Never
there's
enough time.
fucking 30 of you and one dude.
Yeah.
And you got to leave tomorrow.
I've
You know what I also think? Just really quick.
Yeah, go.
While I'm on,
You don't need to be
while I'm
quick.
going,
Take your time.
since I'm cooking here. I don't think it should end in proposal. I think that's another big fault of The Bachelor. I think it should end and they should say, "Listen, okay, now you found this person. If you want to be a couple, go ahead and move forward at your own pace now as a real fucking life." I think having it end in proposal is a bit extreme.
Well,
Well, it's a fucking TV show,
For
Zach.
sure, you're
it
right.
needs to be extreme.
You're 100% right, but it's not going to fly like CJ's saying. It needs to be extreme.
Listen,
You got to go to 100.
I'm surprised
real
it doesn't
quick.
end in a pregnancy.
ABC,
I
NBC,
think
if you're
it might
listening,
sometimes.
Yeah, ABC's
if
listening
you're
right
listening,
now. Now's your moment.
If you're listening, I got some ideas. Okay.
Hey, look, me and Chris have
Listen,
already
I
put
know-
in our
listen,
applications.
I know Chris Harrison's gone. If you're looking for a replacement, I'm just saying my schedule's pretty open.
And I'm looking for a career change.
Yeah.
Looking to get into the primetime network hosting avenue of life.
That's right. Yeah. Listen,
Oh,
all
fuck.
these contestants, they're looking for someone young and relatable.
Yeah.
I could be that for them.
You could definitely be that person.
Yeah.
You're hip. We get it. You
I'm-
did
I'm
mention
with it.
earlier that you look at things from a white male perspective, so they will appreciate that from you.
That's what they, based on the contestants and who wins, I think that is probably what they look for.
Oh yeah. Fuck, man. That show, yeah, you're looking at it like a reasonable human being. Like it shouldn't, and I agree with you. Like if these people really want to be together, because this is not a real life scenario. Like it always cracks me up on the show because like they'll do like some like horseback riding through the mountains that ends in like some like spa like
Yeah,
pit or
something
whatever
crazy.
in like Costa Rica.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, I can't wait to like this is like a glimpse into what our future's gonna be like. And I always say, no, it's not.
Nope.
This is not a
Yeah,
glimpse
well-
into your fucking future at all.
Totally. I'll tell you what, the contestant nor the other people, like no one came up with that date on an individual level. That's
No.
the network being like, here's what you guys are doing. So when
Absolutely.
you get home and you're like, what should we do for date night? And your date's like a total dud because she's never had to come up with something. Now
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Now you're engaged.
Wait, we can't do stunt car driving
What do you mean?
tonight?
What do you mean? We're not going
Wait,
horseback riding?
You guys don't do that on a regular
Oh
basis?
my god, it's insane, man. It's so funny. But you're right though, it is funny. Like I would love to be a fly on the wall on some of these production meetings. Like, okay, what do we need? Okay, we need a romantic scene at dinner. So like we'll have some guy come and sing and they'll slow dance in front of him. As if those aren't the
So
most
awkward, by the way.
awkward things ever. They'll bring in a singer or a band. They're the only ones there. The band's playing, and they'll just come in halfway through a
I like-
song almost, and
I
then
like
they'll
when
just
they
start
start
slow
making out.
dancing. Then they're making out in front of them, and then fireworks will go off. It's like the most. It's like energy drink cocaine fueled production meetings went into this love.
I think it's also like suburban viewership, like personified. Then like this is what people think like romantic dates look like. What's a romantic date to like the average viewer of The Bachelor? It probably is like, oh, okay, tell us what your most romantic date would look like, and they're like, well, fireworks, champagne, maybe a horseback ride.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, and like
beach.
whatever generic country band is popular that day.
Yeah.
Like, that's the ultimate.
They actually
they just
had
throw that
someone
into
on
every
that
day?
I heard of last week. That Aloe Black? Yeah. Aloe Black, I think.
He's pretty cool, actually.
He's actually pretty good, but
Never
that's
Yeah.
the first time ever that I've
Well,
ever
that's what I
heard
said,
of someone.
this season of The Bachelor is the most woke season. We have the first black bachelor, for one,
Okay.
right? Isn't that true?
Yep. They've had a girl though be the one before.
Tasha, yeah.
And that was years ago before it was demanded for. They just did it.
I'm not sure. But it's good.
No,
Steps in the right direction,
no,
we'll say.
that's what happened. I'm an avid fan.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, they've done a lot of stuff right. You can see they're changing.
are they are you being serious? I think they're just trying to check off boxes. To me it's
I mean,
it's just like because they added this thing
do you think it's see-through?
a little bit, yeah.
I do too.
Okay,
But,
good.
I mean, like, but that doesn't mean that it's not like. But that doesn't mean that it's also not a step in the right direction. Like see-through or not,
Well, I mean,
maybe it's good.
I think most people generally don't care about those things, but I just thought this season was definitely the most woke because like when they were bringing the girls out for the first night, it was like checking off boxes. They had a disabled girl, they had multiple like
That's every
interracial
Literally,
Yeah,
girls,
that's what
yeah.
they're doing though. Is
but
checking
they're
off
like
boxes.
checking off boxes, and to me, it's like it's not
I can't
authentic.
believe. So another
This-
season has already started.
No,
Oh,
we're still in the
No.
same season.
They're also way too frequent. Like, give me a fucking break. One ends and then there's another one right after it.
yeah.
Like, why
It's
can't it just be
crazy.
like a normal show where it's like
Yeah,
there's
give
some
us, like,
time
3
between
months or
seasons?
something.
I need a mental break to not have to be like nonstop Bachelor.
Yeah. No,
Bachelor
but it's
finishes,
like,
then all of a sudden the Bachelorette, and then
Yeah.
that finishes, then
And
there's
Bachelor in
Paradise, and then
Paradise.
that finishes, and there's something else. You know, like it's an entire year's worth of back to back to back.
The only time you get a break is like September to January. You get to enjoy the holiday season without Bachelor. And then they hit you in January
really?
with Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise, and then it all wraps up by about August. And then you come out of those 8 months, you're like, I've been watching the world's worst show for 8 straight months now. And you're
Yeah.
like, fuck, shake out those cobwebs. And then 4 months go by, you're like, I feel really good. And then bam, new year, another 8 months of terrible TV coming at you. The most dramatic season
Yeah.
every time, by the way.
Speaking of TV, Brittany and I just blazed through all of Cobra Kai. Have either of you guys watched this?
I haven't
No,
watched any
watched
of it.
But you've seen The Karate Kid, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know about the show and like
Yes.
I know a bit about it, yeah.
all the same actors from like the first Karate Kid and like
I've heard it's like
Those shows?
it's like purposefully cheesy but very good.
yeah, it's pretty self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
Like it knows its cheesiness and it plays into that a little bit, which I think
That's
I
reasonable.
think makes it quite a lot more tolerable because like it's certainly it's not exceptionally well acted or the storyline's pretty dodgy.
Yeah, if they came
But,
in and were like, we're
but
gonna
it's pretty fun.
be this is gonna be a serious reboot and we demand you to take it seriously, people would be
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
go
wasn't
fuck
that.
yourself. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. I liked it. It was pretty fun.
How many Rob told me about that a couple years ago when it was like a YouTube series, I think.
Really.
I think
Interesting.
Netflix picked it up and gave him a second season.
I know I definitely had heard people speak highly of it for a long time. So we just, I mean, obviously COVID times, like there's no,
You gotta
it's
plow
not like
in
it's not like I have a whole back catalog of things to watch.
something.
We've watched all of Netflix. So it was time
Like
to
the
try
rest of the
this. Time to give it a shot. And yeah, they're a little quick half-hour episodes. So it's kind of nice to just like blaze through it.
Half an hour is a good way to just hammer off a season too. You can do that
Yeah.
in an
Oh my
afternoon
God,
on a
it's
Sunday.
fucking quick.
They just keep
Half-hour
rolling.
episodes.
Keep them coming.
Yeah.
You start watching The Office at 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning, and
And you're on
next
season
thing you know,
8.
you're on season 8 the next Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm like, was I supposed to go to work this week? I think I was.
Where am I?
Have you guys
Yeah.
ever watched the British version of The Office?
Yeah, I saw. It was only 2 seasons.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it.
Did you?
Yeah,
I had
I
a
like-
tough time
but
getting into
I like
it.
pretty
We're
much
fans of-
anything
we're
Ricky
fans of
Gervais.
Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I like anything he does. Pretty
I
much.
just had a tough time getting into it, like after watching like our
It's a different
version.
pace.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
way.
know, I
It's
just,
way
like-
cringier.
Dwight.
It is.
Dwight
Yeah.
is like the entire show for me. Like that guy is
Yeah, I
just.
get that.
Oh,
They're both. They did it like the American Office. They did an amazing job with.
They did it
Yeah.
well.
Like they fucking, I think, pretty much nailed it. And if you watch it back now, like, thank God it was on when it was, because there's a lot of jokes in there that they couldn't do now, unfortunately. But like, they're
Yep.
just great jokes, and it helped develop characters. It's a fucking like top to bottom, they pretty much nailed it across the board. I would
Well,
say.
it was balanced too. Horrendously funny.
Yep.
Like with really cringy moments, but also really heartwarming.
Yeah.
Yeah, at times, yeah. Yeah, you felt bad, whatever.
Yeah, you felt bad certain times, you felt good certain times.
Mm-hmm.
It had everything. Family show.
The British one. Ricky Gervais is like when he can make you fucking like your skin crawl. Did you watch his latest movie of him being David Brent? Life on the
No.
Road?
No, I saw the trailers for it. I didn't watch it.
Man, it's
I
great.
have a hard time watching anything like super cringy. It's why like I can only watch a couple episodes of like Curb Your Enthusiasm at a time.
Yeah, I
I'm
get
like,
that.
oh, like don't do that. Don't
just
do
hurts.
that. Oh, you did it.
And you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Life on the Road is about the main character from The Office, and he like it's like picks him up like 20 years later after they stopped filming the show The Office, and he's like trying to start a band, and he's like he's going on a road trip, but like it's all like towns like in his surrounding area, so it's like if we were doing a show tonight in Richmond Hill, but he's getting everyone to stay in a hotel, and like it's bad, man. It's you feel really bad for him, but it's really he's amazing.
He knows how to do it.
Oh my god. Like it's hard to get through. You'd have to like watch an hour and a half movie in 2 parts.
Gives me anxiety.
It's rough.
Oh,
Super rough. I can't yeah, I'm totally with you. I can't do too much of it. Did you watch Love Island, Zach? I'm just asking because I'm trying to get out of it.
Yeah.
Totally I did.
Is it boring as fuck?
No, it's great.
No?
We watched, so we've got that Hey You app, which is like all the reality shows. It's like a streaming service, but for just like reality stuff.
Well, that's a time suck.
Yeah, it's a bit dangerous, but
so you've seen everything.
Yeah, I've seen it all. We watched. I'm trying to think. The first season of Love Island that they had on it was season 3. It was kind of interesting to watch. I got a couple points I can make about this. Love Island, if you don't know, listeners, is kind of like The Bachelor, kind of like Big Brother.
Yeah.
So it's like a bunch of couples, a bunch of like kind of philandering young 20-somethings putting a home together, and they're left to just
philander.
Yeah, fuck each other and do whatever they want.
It's so boring.
But it's interesting because it's like there's no camera crew. It's all like mounted cameras throughout the place. So you get a little bit more candid moments because there's no like that's the one thing I can't help but feel about The Bachelor is like when they talk about how you get like your on-camera personality, you get your off-camera personality. Like because like you can't help it if you're trying to have a conversation. Like if right now we were in the same room and beside us there was a whole camera crew, you would act differently, whether you want to or not.
There's a whole camera crew right now.
You're gonna say shit that like you're gonna censor what you say a lot of the times.
Yeah, because you're
if it's ABC filming
to the fact that like you're right there being filmed. So you take that out of the equation, I guess you get a little bit more candidity. But so Love Island's funny. It's also British as well, which is good. I like the announcer. He's got.
Oh, I'm watching the American one.
Yeah, the American one sucks.
Okay, I'm like,
come on, get it, Chris. You're not even watching the proper one.
We're 3 episodes in
the season,
and it's like so
3.
boring. We
Chris
stopped watching.
Dude, how do you watch this shit?
No,
I would never do that because I know the shit that I watch.
British Love Island. You'll like the British one because it's like it's
trashy.
Yeah, it's trashy, but it's good. And like they had like Stormzy on there, and like I think he's sick.
Who's Stormzy?
Like a UK rapper.
Okay.
A grime artist. He's pretty good. It's funny. Like it's really funny, and like the people are funny. Like I liked them all. So in season 3, here's an interesting transition. Like they all smoked, and they had like little like fire pits and stuff all over the place, and like they were always like, "Oh mate, like let's go have a chat," and like they'd go and like they'd like have a cigarette together and stuff, and they're smoking all the time. And then the next season there was like maybe only a couple guys that smoked, and then the season after that no one smoked.
Yeah, and then next season everyone will be vaping.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't see any of that, but I wouldn't be surprised. But like,
people don't
it was
smoke
interesting
anymore.
to watch. It was interesting to watch. I was like,
that is true. It's like a time portal, right?
It was like, and now it looks weird, right? You watch something where like people are really smoking heavily. Looks odd.
I remember the Jersey Shore. I think that was like all their biggest fights were at the end of the night when they were outside smoking. Yeah. They were all just like chain smoking cigarettes. And then
Yeah,
they'd be like,
I've been
fuck
there.
you, Ronnie, and they fucking fist fight. Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
there, done that.
Yeah, don't miss that.
No, not at all.
But yeah,
I remember-
it's pretty good.
I remember, when we were young, everyone smoked.
Oh, yeah.
At parties and stuff. How many times you'd put down a beer bottle, pick that fucker back
And
up.
it's not the right beer bottle.
It's swimming in cigarette butts.
Yep.
Like
That's
as soon as you set it down, yeah, it's
disgusting.
horrible.
I've also lit the wrong end of a cigarette more times in my life than I care to admit.
Yeah.
I think you have, yeah.
If you're not living if you haven't done that.
Yep.
or if one's like cracked right at the base, you're like, fuck it. You flick the filter away. You just raw dog it.
Oh yeah.
Spitting
I like
tobacco.
the good looks where you're like can barely stand up. You got the nice bent half broken one hanging out of your mouth, trying to light it.
It's like I think it might be time
Time
for
to go to
bed.
bed.
Yeah. 100% it's time to fucking pack this shit in.
Yeah.
Oh
Hey,
my
you
God.
live and learn.
Yeah. Fuck. We're drinking Wild Turkey, by the way.
Yeah, where's your drink?
Yeah. I'm drinking more.
He's reasonable.
When did you stop drinking?
It's not that I don't drink anymore. I just drink in way more moderation.
Yeah,
I had a couple glasses of wine the other night, but like beginning of COVID, we basically like cut down.
just said fuck it.
Yeah, actually, like for most of the first year, I didn't really drink anything, which is just like it was nice. It was nice timing wise, like we weren't doing anything really super social, obviously, because we weren't doing anything social, not anything super social.
Yeah.
Just because of lockdown and whatever. So time home, we were exercising a lot. Like Friday night would roll around, it just felt like another night. So like I had nothing behind drinking, which is usually a social thing anyway, right? So just like a nice time to just kind of like hit the reset button on it and cool it a little bit, which then felt great. So I just kind of like kept that going. We've introduced things here and there, but like tried to kind of make it maybe more like occasion based. Or I know Chris, one time when we were chatting recently, we were talking about like yeah, you limit yourself to maybe like once a month. We'll get like a nicer bottle.
Yeah.
Something like make it more of a treat, whatever.
Yeah, since our last
But,
podcast, I've had 2 beers.
I haven't had anything
Yeah.
since our
Yeah, that's
Like,
fantastic.
and like I'm gonna just get down to once a week for this if we continue to do it. So yeah, it's way better now.
There you go, man.
It-
And, like that's the thing. Like once a week, whatever. You have a little drink with your friends. Like I think everything in moderation. I've always kind of said, right? But
the old saying, everything in moderation, including moderation.
that's right.
Yeah.
the before it was you would go out and again socialize drinking and shit, go to the bar, having drinks. Again,
Totally.
Friday, Saturday, sometimes Thursdays. After
Yep,
golf,
100%, man.
you go out, have some
Mhm.
beers, have some dinner. And
Yep.
it turns in you're drinking like 3-4 nights out of the week. And it's like, holy
Next thing you
Easy.
know, and it's easy to have happen, man.
It
and then
is really
like
easy.
from a like the other side of things as well, just like associated benefits of cutting it down. Like look at the amount of money you save.
dude,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
man.
The
That's why I always said
like,
I prefer going
nights
to
out.
house parties or drinking like at a buddy's place, whatever, or even drinking at our place.
It's expensive.
Dude, it's way cheaper than going to the bar.
And it's still expensive.
And,
even
if you
and
buy,
it's
like, a
still
2-4
expensive, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, the amount of times
And
we've
Jack,
been
you
out,
live in
like,
the cheapest province for booze too.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
true.
expensive. Like
It's expensive, man.
yeah.
The amount of, like what I was trying to say is the amount of times like we've been out and like you're having a particularly good time or whatever. So like close to the end of the night or whenever you're like stumbling to the ATM to go take out another $100, and then you do that maybe 2 times a night,
Yeah.
and like you wake up the next day with this like anxiety, being like, oh, I spent
Yeah, and then you check
too
your credit
much
card
money
bill
last night.
on top of all the
Yeah.
money you pulled out too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because you put your credit card down, like open up tabs somewhere.
Yep. There was a week,
That-
I think it was 2019. I went to the same bar and like every week I would have an open tab. And it was just getting it
That's
was like
dangerous.
it was absurd.
out of hand because
It was
we
ridiculous.
would show up with like there'd be like 4 or 5 of us. Chris
Mhm.
would open up a tab,
We'd just leave.
and but like what would happen
Would you
throughout
leave
the
your
night?
credit card there?
No, they would just be like, I'd be like, just put it under my name, and
Yeah.
then we would.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
would never pay the tab, and then we go in like a week later, and they'd be like, you go, what's it, this much from last week?
But
I'm like,
what
oh,
would
fuck. And that
happen-
happened like 5 weeks in a row. I'm like, I
Yeah,
think I
yeah,
need to fucking change my lifestyle.
It wasn't
Yeah.
even that wasn't even the worst part though. Is we would be there, and then like people that you knew we
Yeah.
weren't like we didn't
Yeah,
show
yeah.
up with would come and sit with us.
Which is fine. You're just shooting the shit, but then
But
they
then
would
they
get a
would-
beer.
Yeah, they would put
Oh, yeah.
their beer on our tab.
I had
We-
a bad habit of forgetting my credit card at bars after opening tabs.
That's easy
Yeah.
done.
Wake up
too.
Wake up the next morning, like, don't have my credit card, be like, oh, okay.
There's a walk of shame you don't want to flex.
Total walk of shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, I think I left my credit card here.
Do you think I could pay my bill and also get my credit card back? Fuck it. We were at a stag in, I guess it's 2019.
I
It
don't know
wasn't
what.
last summer. I think it was 2019 because it wasn't last summer.
No, it
Must have been the
was
summer
it
tour.
2018?
No, it was 2019.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure of anything.
I'm not
actually.
sure. I've
Doesn't
lost
matter.
all track of time.
So we were at a stag, and same thing. Like there was a big group of us, and like you would start a tab for like you and your couple buddies. So like me and CJ were on the same tab. We'd be drinking,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and then like they would come by and be like, "Do you want something?" Like, yeah, and then they'd ask other people you're standing talking to, and you would just assume that they had their own setup going.
But not always.
Go back the next week, and it's like literally, I think it was like a $300, almost a $400 bill,
Yeah. I
and
think
it was only
yeah.
supposed to be me and CJ on it, and we were just drinking beer. And
I
there was like
I
shots
wasn't
on
even
there.
drinking that much beer though,
Yeah,
because
there was.
I was so like I had the worst headache when we got there. I'm like, I need
Mhm.
food, a water, and then we'll talk about beer. I think I
Yeah.
had 2 beers, and I'm like, dude, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
And it was just, and like there were shots in there. I'm like, I didn't do any shots. Like I remember the
Ugh.
bill, and then I
I think we
went
did. I think
back.
we did. Somebody bought us. Somebody
Somebody bought us,
bought
though.
us
Yeah,
shots,
on
and they got thrown
our
on
money.
on
our
your
tab.
tab.
But I went back.
that was nice of
I
them.
went back to the person whose stag it was, and I'm like, listen, I just came back to this place a week later, and I just got hit with a $400 bill, and I know it's not me because it
Weed
was
is
like beers that I don't drink, shots that I don't drink. It was a bunch of stuff, and I know it's like a crazy night, but it wasn't like I remember. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like a
Yeah.
like-
by that time though, like I don't remember it being like that outrageous. I also left semi early.
I think you left before I did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
But I don't like. I don't know because we drank from what 10 a.m. till
You left at
Fuck.
probably midnight.
I left 12 o'clock and we drank
Mm.
all the way up till then. So I don't.
It
Again,
was a stag. That's
Yeah.
pretty standard, I guess. That
Yeah.
Fuck.
Anyway,
That was a good time.
yeah, drinking
yeah, it was a
takes its toll.
it was a Blue Jays
It
game.
really does. Well,
So then you're in the sun.
Oh yeah.
You're out.
Actually, we were pretty
standing.
fine though. We were in that like little.
Oh yeah, the
covered
sky
area.
deck. There was a
Yeah.
bit of sun. Or
We
That's
shade.
cool.
So when we did dry January,
Mhm.
that was cool. That was fine. And then we came off and we crushed a bottle of whiskey. And I
Smart.
woke up the next day
No.
and I text Chris. And I'm like, I think I'm all about that sober living.
And I was
Because
fully in
like
agreement.
I wasn't even like super hungover. I just a little groggy, just didn't feel 100%.
the day's fucked.
I'm
The next
like,
day's
dude,
fucked.
I'm just it's
So-
not like a glass here and there.
I know you
Cool.
guys have mentioned this on a couple of your other podcasts, but like, I don't drink a lot of beer anymore.
I can't.
And like where I live, I live in Calgary.
Yeah.
By the way,
for people listening.
yeah, for all you listeners.
Just want to go, just
Uh,
for all the listeners out there.
Yeah. But like where the neighborhood that I live in is like a hotbed for like microbreweries and like all these little shops and stuff, and like it's amazing. Like we have some fantastic local beer that's like winning awards across the country. Like it's great, and I love having them. They're cool places to go. Like if you guys visit, like I'd love to take you. But like with some of these smaller establishments too, like you're getting like pretty like weedy beers. So I'm like
Unfiltered is what
kind
they
of like
fucking
unfiltered-y. Yeah,
are.
exactly.
And after
like,
2 beers, your fucking
pretty high-
head is like twice the size, and you already have a headache, and you're not even drunk.
that's right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You can have like 1 or 2 and you feel not great. And,
No,
like
it's like, I need to
like
stop
I don't have a
drinking
weed
this.
intolerance, but like anything like that, like it's I don't feel good the next day. It's not it's not a hangover. I
Yeah.
just don't feel good.
You're just not 100%.
100%, no.
Yeah, like and I have to like I find that's the case with like certain things too. Like wine, I think is okay generally. Whiskey here and there seems to be all right.
Things that are
like
flavorful.
limiting it all. It's been kind of nice.
And then also if you're off it for a while, you appreciate it more. Like I was talking with my mom the other day, and she's getting a knee surgery next week. So she's kind of
Mm.
off booze leading up to it. And
Mm.
she was reflecting as well. She's like, you know, like we were drinking like a couple bottles of wine a week, and like we don't
Yeah.
buy cheap wine, like we buy nice stuff. And then like we went a while, like however long they gone, like weeks without having anything. And then they had like one bottle, and like she's like, I so enjoyed it. Like it was so much better like,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Dude,
for sure.
exactly.
Like, it,
Exactly.
you
Having it
can
on
actually
an occasion.
enjoy the thing. Like last night, I felt like a beer watching the hockey game. I had one. I enjoyed it. It was just like nice.
Yeah, but you didn't have.
Well, I think
20.
I think we can probably
And I
say
didn't
our
have 20, and it took
our
me-
family life.
Took
It's
me
probably
all
the
night to
same.
drink 2 beers.
Yeah.
Like my family, you know, we all drank like
Yeah.
decently heavily too, probably to the point where like sometimes it was likely questionable. So
Yeah.
it's been kind of nice because I think like we've all kind of taken this bit of a reset, you know, and like early COVID, I know some people had the opposite. They were like, okay, we're like drinking everything we had in our cellar, you know, like just going crazy, like living the life of luxury because we had nothing to do. But like my dad's 73 this year. Like he's been like not drinking any alcohol for like quite a few months now. And I'm like, that's great.
It's
Like,
best. Yeah.
Age wise, you know, not a bad idea.
Keep your immune
You
system
know,
in
like
check.
exactly, yeah. And your point exactly, like to your mom's point, like when you do indulge, then whether it's, you know, say you're going out for dinner, whenever the hell that's going to be, but like, you know, you want to get yourself a nice bottle of wine, and then it becomes celebratory.
Enjoy it.
You
can
know, and
enjoy
like
it, yeah.
and you can enjoy it. And I think like taking those breaks does make it a little bit more special, for like lack of a better
It
description.
did for me.
You know,
I know
like
that. Just speaking for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, even when we had that non-alcoholic beer the first time, that was my first beer in months.
Even
dude, I
those
saw
are
Heineken's
enjoyable.
doing a non-alcoholic beer. I was saying to Brittany, I might like to grab some of those.
They're
for the
really
summer,
good.
just like
They're
in
actually
a
phenomenal.
cooler, like because you know, like you're doing yard work or whatever. Like there are a few times where I'm like, okay, I want a beer
Exactly.
Yeah.
because it is nice. It's thirst
It is,
quenching. You
yeah.
know, like it feels good, but I don't necessarily need the alcohol.
No.
You know, like
just the flavor.
in which case it's just like it's beer. Like, and I think I used to like scoff at like various non-alcoholic beers, but I bet you they're pretty good now.
They're really good. The Heineken 00 especially is probably the best one out there.
Yeah, I'd like
It's
to try
phenomenal.
that.
It's really good. And yeah, you buy it at the well, I know you can buy beer in your grocery stores, but here you can get it just at the grocery store, which is
Yeah,
nice.
we don't have it in grocery stores, but we have independent liquor stores. So
Oh.
a bit
Yeah,
different.
you
but it's
you almost have like mom and pop shops for
that's
alcohol.
right. Yeah, so like it's cool because like they can bring in more unique stuff. Like a friend of mine's a wine importer, so he brings in like a bunch of like really unique wines, kind
And
of
isn't
from all over. Like,
restricted to what the LCBO tells them you can bring in.
exactly, yeah. So you have a little bit more freedom, and like you can get some interesting things. And then you get like it's kind of cool because the shop can be as unique and catered to that as they want. Like I know some like really amazing like specialty shops that are beautiful, and like the staff are phenomenal, and like you can go in and like whatever they have there, you know, like even at their lowest end of the spectrum, it's a phenomenal bottle. Then you've got like your like run of the mill like liquor stores, you know, so you have everything in between.
Yeah.
And then you have places that are open till 2 a.m. You have places that close at 9. Like,
Yeah, and the places that are open to 2 a.m., you're in for a show either way, I would think.
Like when we were down
Yeah, those
there.
When we were there, the one time we went to one around midnight.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody was in a wrestling match over a bottle of Smirnoff.
yeah, that sounds about right.
And this ginormous
Like,
cop
7'8"
stiff-armed him.
cop stiff armed the motherfucker into a different planet.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went to that whiskey shop, or like, I don't know if it was necessarily just whiskey, but like their assortment of whiskey
Mhm.
when we were there was so much broader than
Yeah, man.
than it is here.
Yep. Yeah, there's some crazy shit if
Like,
you want it.
I went
there.
looking on the LCBO just to check out some different stuff because me and CJ like to do the whiskey reviews, and I like
Yeah, I
and
think that's cool.
doing the whiskeys. We enjoy it, and once a week is whatever, right? But so
You
I
know
was
what,
on
man?
the
The taste of it is great.
yeah. The first time we went back after dry January, we went crazy though. Like we drank a full bottle.
Yeah. But we
Yeah,
it
the
was
unreleased
planned,
podcast
like-
tapes.
Well-
Yeah, somewhere there's a secret recording where you're like,
No,
the rest of the bottle.
we were smart enough to jump out, and then we went upstairs because the girls were hanging out, and we just went upstairs. I'm like, should we just, I think we're probably just gonna finish this, right? And we're like, yeah, all right.
Well, we sat down for a bit. Chris had a glass, and I didn't realize he poured himself another one. Mike got like, we'll probably leave shortly. Chris goes, "You're not having another glass?" I go, "Oh, are you?" He goes, "Yeah, I got one right here." I'm like, I didn't know we were still drinking. Like, okay. Next thing I knew,
Next thing you know.
Yeah.
next thing I knew, Chris was on the couch beside me. He goes, "Okay, I'm going to bed. Get the fuck out."
Yeah.
Oh man,
And that was like 10:30.
I think it
I
was
need to
later
be-
than that. I
It
think
wasn't. No, it was like 10:30, 11. Because like I
thought
saw
it
the
was, like,
time and it was like
11:30.
no, it wasn't that late.
Really. Eh?
I'm like, I'm not staying up past 11. I can tell you that.
I
At
thought
the
it was
very
way
like
later.
the thing,
I
the thing.
barely stay at past 11 these days.
like come 8:30, I'm ready to crawl into bed,
Yeah.
and I like it.
Yeah.
I feel way better.
Me too.
I get up so
It's
early too.
fantastic.
Yeah. Well, with work, yeah.
Yeah.
How early do you get up?
On average, 5 a.m.
Oof.
Usually, well, the last year where I was working, I was starting at 6 a.m., so I was getting up at 4:30,
Jesus.
and that's like
Hashtag trade life.
hashtag fucking dumb life is what it is. So yeah, that like come 9 o'clock, I'm pretty tired and ready for bed. But
Yeah.
getting your sleep in is super important. And also, if you're drinking, it's not just the
Bad
effects;
sleeps.
it's the bad sleep, and it's also like
Mhm.
being up till 2 and getting up at fucking 7
Yeah, because
on top of
I used to
all the
remember-
shit you drank. Like,
I used to remember like crashing at your place, like in high school. We'd go to bed at like 4 in the morning.
often.
I'd have to get up to go to like my shitty job on Saturday at like 8 a.m.
Yep,
Like wipe the sleep from my eyes. Probably still drunk.
for sure.
Drive there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's
Also,
but
now
that's
that
part
we
of
own
growing. That's
homes,
part of
now
growing
I
up,
have
though.
a way more respect for your parents for being like, yeah, Chris, you can have all your friends over every Friday night for an entire year.
For an entire fucking 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm sure they're just counting down the days till we were gone. I can tell you this: that's not happening. In
No.
my house. Go to
It's,
your friend's house.
it's
Everyone has to find their Chris.
but you know what? It's part of it. It's part of growing up. Like if
So generous.
if you look back on it and you're like, "Fuck, I was an idiot," but it was mostly fun and we got away with like nothing bad
Nothing
ever
bad
happened to
happened.
us really. You know, like
no,
think
we were
of,
smart.
yeah, well, like I
No
thought,
one ever. Okay, here, like things to commend ourselves for. No one ever drank and drove.
no, never.
Like we were really good.
Always
about
had a
it.
ride.
And
or,
that's a generational thing
buddies
too,
to walk
because
home.
our generation, I never even considered it once.
Yeah, neither
No.
did I. Like clean record. I'm happy to stick by that. Like,
yeah, same. Yeah.
You know, like so. I think we did it really smart. And I mean, like, yeah, we weren't going out and causing problems. We were sitting in your backyard, like shooting the shit.
And conversely, on that topic, and that's the reason you need to have somewhere where you can just go and
A
hang
safe
out with
place.
your exactly.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're going to be out on the streets and you're going to be either going to parties where you don't know people and you're like no good
Yep.
looking for no good finds no good. You know.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, like on that topic, it's like how badly or how heavy-handedly do you want to prohibit things, right? Like we all had pretty reasonable parents who were like, yeah, like you listen, like we were pretty candid about what we were doing. Nobody was like, no drinking in this house, you know, blah
Yeah.
blah blah. But I feel for the people that go through growing up with those kind of rules enforced because that's when you end up abusing it later
I
on.
think
And not
they
that
were
it
the-
turns into a problem,
no.
but like
Yeah.
when you do indulge, you don't really know what you're getting into. So like
No, you just go hog wild.
you
right?
hear
Yeah.
you hear lots of kids that like go to their first high school party and that's the first time they're getting wasted. And like
It's not
you know,
a good.
why you
That's
have
not a
kids
good
have to
environment
you have
to
to
do
get
that
like
for
your
the first
stomach
time.
pumped and shit because you just don't know.
Yeah, I mean we've
know,
seen
like-
it.
yeah,
We've also
it's
all
ha-
been
it
there
happened a
too, where we
few
drank
times
way too
through.
much. And luckily, we
For
were
sure.
we were in the right spots doing that. We weren't doing that at
Yeah,
some
absolutely.
strange party where like
Well, there
shit,
you go.
shit throughout the night. Like all of us
We
get
also-
separated, and then now you're puking uncontrollably, and none of your buddies
Yeah.
are around. You know?
Yeah, but
That's
we
right.
also went to parties and we also looked out for each other. Like we were that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
That's how like good our friendship was. You get a
Yeah,
lot of people
totally.
that just go. They're like, "Hey, you should come to this party with us." You go
Yeah.
with them, and then you're puking your ass off, and they're like, "Fuck this kid, I'm out."
One of the
Yep.
maddest experiences of my life. I think might have been 20. None of you guys were there, but we were at some sort of family function and my cousin was there and she brought one of her friends. And my cousin was supposed to be staying at her house because her parents didn't live in the town anymore. It's like I
Sure.
forget what the circumstances were, but she was supposed to be
Mhm.
staying with her friend's house, who was just up the road from my parents' old place. And my cousin drank too much and she was sick, as what happens when you're young or whatever, and we've
Yeah,
all
totally.
been there. And her friend was like, "Okay, like I'll catch you guys later." And I'm like, "What do you mean you catch us later?" I'm like, like this is your friend, and
Yeah.
she's supposed to be staying with you tonight. Like her car's at your house. Like her parents know that you're staying with her, and not because I was like getting mad that she was dumping her on me. She's family.
Yeah,
I'd happily take care of her.
Yeah, that was
But
that was
that's not the point. The point of the matter is that okay, now I know exactly what type of person are, so that if she ever gets too drunk
Anywhere.
and something like this happens, you're just fucking gone
Yeah,
for
you're
sure,
deuces.
100%. And I went
Mhm.
off on her, and I stand by that to this day. Like
Yeah, man.
because that girl showed her true colors. It just happened to be that luckily my cousin was at her aunt's house and I was there, and everything
Mhm.
was fine, and it wasn't a big deal at all.
It just as easily could have been somewhere else though.
And I guarantee you, it's happened before. It's not the first time that she's like, "Oh,
No.
so and so has had too much to drink," and she's whatever. Okay, I think we'll
I don't
leave
want the
now.
responsibility.
Like
Yeah, I'm out
you
of
would just leave your fucking friend to like
Yeah.
to the fucking wolves. You know what I mean? Like,
Happens all the time though.
but I know, and it's fucking
Yeah,
scary.
we rolled together.
Yeah, but a lot of people fucking didn't, and like
That's true, man.
there was a lot of shit. I was happy that we have the friendship group that we do, and I hope most people have that themselves, where you
Yep.
can fucking rely on people. Where if it gets
You got to
fucking-
experiment.
yeah,
You got to know your limits.
Yeah.
You got to know what's too much. You got to know what it feels like to have too much. Like those are the things that you have to kind of go
and they're
through. And that's
important
what sets
learning
you up.
steps. Yeah, and
They
it's
yeah.
it's not great, but like just like Antonia and I talking about, obviously we're gonna be parents shortly and stuff. So
That's right.
like you have all these discussions and you look back at all the things that you did and mistakes were made, but you also look at like, okay, so how could we do things differently? Well, like, okay, maybe a safe place to drink isn't a bad idea. Like, not
Mhm.
trying to condone it, but you got to let them, like, you can't come in it with, like, I don't want my kids to do any
can't be
half the
prohibitive.
shit. Yeah, I don't want them to do
Yeah.
half the shit that I did. And again, we got off pretty lucky,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
yeah, like you said, it can't be prohibited.
But you also know that like it's going to happen whether
whether you like it or not.
you make it a safe space or not. That's just
Yeah.
kids. I think you're thinking about it the right way. And I mean, I think that comes down to like, you hear people say all the time, like, oh, I'll never parent like my parents, or like, I'm going to do things way differently. Well, I mean, there's truth to that and there's not. I
Exactly.
think what you end up
You got to
doing
be
is
honest
like
about it.
yeah, because like
Yeah.
you look at like maybe there are areas where you would do things a bit differently, but I bet you like your experience and when you're going into becoming a parent, like it's like what experience are you basing it on?
Yeah, you're basing it
Your
on your own.
parents.
Yeah.
So I mean, inevitably, some of it's going to be how you parented, and like I bet it comes out in a number of ways. When you discipline, I'm sure it's like I only know how to say it this way.
Yeah.
That's how it's gonna be, like you're
Well,
like, oh shit, I'm the parents.
the thing I think is the most valuable tool is just like information. Just provide all the necessary information, and then like allow them be like, I understand that you're 16, you're gonna want to drink all this
Yeah.
shit, but
Educate.
these are real things that are associated with that. Like you can drink too much, you can get sick, you can get hurt. Like a lot of bad things can happen. Also,
Mhm.
like it's not all bad, but you need to understand that both things are possible at the same time.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
totally.
it's not just like, okay, you're off for Friday night. See you later. Bye. Not that I grew up in that situation, but yeah, like it's such a weird little. Oh, we got a kitty cat.
Keith,
Hi, Keith. What's he pushing right now? 30, 40 pounds?
no, he's like 20 pounds.
Jesus.
He's a big boy though. Come here.
Keith, you're on the internet. Oh my god, he's
Hi.
big.
Yeah, that's a big cat.
He's a big boy.
He was chomping on my arm this morning, like way too hard. I like to play with him, like I play pretty rough, but he also like never really learned how to like roughhouse. He didn't have
Cats don't know how
I
to
don't
roughhouse.
think
They
cats
have-
they do
learn.
it.
They
do
have
if they
no
learn
roughhouse
with
or they
brothers
have
and
kill you.
sisters.
Do they learn?
Like if they grow up if they grew up in a litter, yeah, because they learned that it hurts.
Okay.
And so apparently, like if you have cats, like we adopted our cat from like a rescue place.
And he was probably like an
'cause it
abandoned
was-
litter.
Yeah, he was just like let out of a car in the middle of a field, basically.
Which is how you should deal with most
Um,
kittens, I think, is a
That's
reasonable
right, yeah.
way.
That's how you deal with your problems. You know that scene from AI, artificial intelligence, when they just abandon whatever that kid's name is, Haley Joel Osment out there, kind of like that. No,
No.
I never saw
Right.
that movie. You know what movie I weirdly thought of when you said that was Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams.
You're like, where's he going with this?
I'm like, fuck, I don't recall that at all. No,
No, so my cat never learned how to play, or never learned what's like too much. So like I'll roughhouse with him, and like usually I can take it, but like he latched on this morning and was like getting down to like had a little chunk of my skin in there.
oh man.
Nasty little mark.
And cat
Okay, that's enough.
cats
That's enough. That's enough.
stop it now. Cats have the worst teeth too, apparently, because if their teeth are so small that they bite you, and those are the most likely bites to get infected.
Really?
Because the bacteria goes in and doesn't come out. Where like as an open wound you can clean, but like if a cat, like a house cat, bites you, it's a pinhole, so you can't get in there to ever clean out the bacteria that
fuck.
comes in with them.
Great.
Yeah, so don't. I mean, it's
I'm
just
looking,
flesh.
looking at it right
I
now.
know it's just flesh-eating disease. Don't let it affect you too much, Zach.
Yeah.
That's not a big
More of an
wouldn't
issue
worry
if he
about
was
it.
outside, but he spends all his time in here, so I'm less concerned.
When you guys transitioned out of the condo into the house, did you guys let
Yep.
him out at all?
No,
That's a good call.
we thought about it.
No, don't.
And like I have mixed feelings. We have a bunch of neighborhood cats, so like it's like torture, I'm sure. And like I would love to let him out, man. I really would, but like
He's a dummy. He's
the
a
fact
house
that
cat.
the fact that he like the fact that he also like spent most of his early life like outside, like I'm not super confident that he would come back.
Oh,
like,
I see.
I think he would, because I think like eventually he'd get hungry enough that he would. But it's like it's like when your kid grows up and they like go outside and play the first time.
You're like,
like,
oh no.
you know, like at
He's
least
coming
like,
back.
with a cat, I can say no. You know, like
Yeah.
so
Yeah. They're
you know,
they're little prisoners.
exactly,
And they're
yeah,
actually
no.
better off for it. I don't know if him going outside to experience the wild of other cats who are like hardened with like scars on their eyes and like have their established territories.
I mean,
And he's like, "Hey guys, my name's Keith."
Fuck
I've
you,
seen all the
Keith.
I've seen all the neighborhood cats, and my cat has like 10 pounds on them. So like, I'd say give
Yeah.
it your best shot.
But that just means his
And he's
cardio's
scrappy.
worse.
Yeah, and he's not as agile.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
we
not.
do have I have a leash for him, and I bring him out on the deck in the summer and just let him lie in the sun.
And he's cool with that. He doesn't get too
Loves it.
hectic.
He was pretty like antsy the first time I did it, because it was just like influx. I'll tell you what, I had I put a little
Sensory overload.
I put like a carabiner mounted to like a bracket on the deck, and I was like, this will be great. We'll bring Keith out. He's on his leash. I'll loop his leash into the carabiner, and he can just like walk around. This is the length because it's only as far as the leash goes. So I'm like, fantastic. It's like this whole body harness he has. So I bring him out, I clip him onto the thing, and he's like walking around, kind of testing it. Okay, feels out how far it goes. So he like walks and backs up until it's like pulled taut, and then he like whacked back on it and like pulled really hard, and it was like he turned into liquid, which is like whoop, right out of the harness
Just
in one movement.
one
I was like,
fucking
okay,
smooth move.
like, picked him up.
Yeah,
like,
there we go.
Well, we're not doing that. And then I think I realized the harness was probably like too loose, but it was just amazing to watch, because it was like he'd probably feel like he like kind of felt it out at first. He was like,
I know how to. I know.
I
how to
can
break
get
it.
out of this.
I think I can get out of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just like use the tension of the thing to get out. It was amazing.
My cousin's cat, when
He quickly went right back.
we were
into
young,
it, but,
he was like obsessed with being out, and they fucking clipped on their cat to an outside leash. They're like, okay, yeah, he's good. They left him outside. They came back, and he was like hanging himself because he'd wrapped around. He jumped off a thing, and he was like, they just
yeah.
caught him as he was like currently trying to hang himself. Like, okay, you're an outdoor cat. Like, you don't need a leash anymore. Like, you're
my
just.
mom has a story
Oh
like
my
that. They
God.
used to, I guess, growing up, she lived in a condo, and they used to let their cat out on the balcony, same thing, like on a leash. And she like came home one day and like looked down at the balcony, and the leash is just like straight out over the edge and like hanging down.
Oh my
So I look
god!
over, and the cat's got like a paw up in the collar, like trying, just like
Holy
totally alive, just
shit.
like hanging out.
Oh my
pull it
god!
up.
Holy fuck. We
Okay, that was a bad idea.
we got when we had a cat, we had to get him the quick release collars. 'Cause he
Oh,
was an
yeah.
outdoor cat like since day one.
Mhm.
He'd just like roam around, whatever. He fucking ruled the neighborhood.
Totally.
In
But
in
he
his
would-
mind, he's like, I rule this
He
neighborhood.
would go into like we have
Yeah.
like those
I never-
bushes at the side of our houses. And dude, we used to find his collars in there all the time. And thank God we had
No
the
way.
quick release
Yeah.
ones. Otherwise, like, dude,
He could have been caught in there. And
You're
just,
in
I
the
guess that's how
fucking
your
bush,
cat
yeah.
disappears, right? Gets caught in a bush. I never even thought of that.
yeah.
Speaking of your like ruling the neighborhood, there is truth to that. So I was like reading about this. We so cats, anything that's in their like observable vicinity, they consider their territory.
Yes.
So like that can include looking out windows. So
Yeah.
like in our kitchen, where the positioning of the windows are in our kitchen, and where our like countertops are, our cat loves to sit there because it's almost like a 180-degree view out these various windows, so you can see kind of like the whole surrounding area.
He can see
It's
his
like, in his
land.
mind, this is all his territory.
Yeah.
So like when another cat comes like walking through, I'm sure he's like, "What are you doing? Like this is mine." You know,
What
like
the fuck are you
he's
doing in
losing
here?
his mind, because there's a great video I've got. Like Brittany's petting one of the local cats. Like we're outside walking up to our house and filming her petting this cat. And, like pan the camera over, and like Keith's in the window with like the
Pressed
most
up
like,
against the glass.
broken look on his face. Yeah, awful.
They're petting a cat in my territory.
Traitor.
God damn these people. I should probably kill them.
Just wait until you fall asleep. I'll eat your face.
Yeah. There was there's a bunch of studies that have been done, but I forget what it was on, but it was like an hour-long documentary on like cats, like the life of house cats, and like they like would put microchips
Like
on
a
these
GoPro?
cats. What's that?
Like a GoPro.
Yeah, they would like put little cameras on them. They'd also like put microchips on them, and just observe
Fascinating.
like outdoor cats in the neighborhood, see how far they would go, see what kind of territory they had.
That
And
is
they
amazing.
all walk this like they have the same route that they would take every day. They go the
Yeah.
same route. They'd show them like eating frogs and shit like that.
Jesus.
Yeah, like cats they're fucking wild. And then they kill
we have,
like
like, a-
billions of animals a year.
We have a really old
Actually.
home, and like with that, we have the odd mouse that gets in occasionally because I'm sure there's like 100 different ways in. And so we were like setting up traps and stuff, but I was like, we
Just let the
also have
cat
the
do
best. We also have the best mouse trap in the world.
He'll tell you if
So,
they're there, I'm sure.
It's amazing, man. Like it's pretty cool to watch. We had a couple like bro out moments in the middle of the night. It's like listening to my cat like paw at our like garbage door for under our sink. And I was like 2 a.m. I'm like, man, what are you doing? So I get up and I like walk into the kitchen, like threw open the garbage door like to see what's going on. And like he's like sniffing around, and I look, and like sitting in the garbage right at the top is like a little mouse.
There you go.
So I was just like, okay, like, you know what? Like, let's do this.
Killed
So I
it.
like turned on the lights. I'm like, go for it, buddy. Like, let's see you do it.
Get him.
Did he do it?
No, it was honestly, it was incredible. So he's like sniffing around, sniffing. I can see him like getting a little closer. He like stands up on his hind legs to look in the garbage, sees it, goes to swat at it. The mouse jumped and disappeared.
Like
have
into
no
like
idea where
into
it
a wormhole and never to be seen again.
I don't even know where it went. I
Fell
was
through the
looking.
vacuum of
Like
time.
I was right there with him. I was like, it was just,
You guys
was
both
just
look at each
gone.
other like, I don't know.
And then he
Yeah.
like lost his scent immediately. He's like, "Where the no?"
yeah,
it's
he's
gone."
like, oh, yeah, exactly.
It's gone,
Totally
dude.
So like that was a bit annoying. He caught another one, and like Keats killed a couple, but he brought one into our bedroom and was like keeping it alive and was just playing with it.
It was
yeah,
just
they,
I was
so-
like-
they're a little tortured.
I'm like, this is
with it.
cruel.
Yeah,
Like you gotta. I'm like, finish it, man. I'm
End
like
it.
standing on the sidelines. I'm like,
Finish
finish
him.
him. But like he's just like smacking it, and then he would just like lie down and like do a little like lazy cat lie like on the ground.
yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, just like chilling there. The
He's
mouse
like,
is
"It's not
like
going
moving
anywhere."
around behind him. I'm like, can you finish this, please? Like, it's late, and I don't want to deal with this any longer. So eventually, I caught it.
I was
and
gonna
put it
say
outside.
like, why
Like,
don't
you
you?
lost your
You should have
chance.
just fucking just put it out of its misery. Just give it a quick little snap of the neck and away you
I
go.
took it way outside and like walked it down to the bottom of our hill and let it go.
into a sewer drain.
Like, don't come back. You remember this? I spared you.
I spared you. You never come back.
Tell your friends.
We cooked lobsters the other night live for the first time.
You showed him.
They scream at you?
No. Have you ever done it?
No, but I thought they scream.
That's a rumor. I think it's like
I've never
supposed to be
had
like the
them
water
yeah.
rushing through their shell. No, they don't.
Oh.
Lobsters don't have vocal cords. So yeah, they
I
don't
don't
make
know
any
how they're
noise
gonna
whatsoever.
scream.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Now I feel stupid.
Yeah.
It's clicking at
I
you.
got this big guy out and I'm like, okay, here we go. And I like go to dip him in the pot and he's way too big for the pot. I'm like, fuck.
Oh no.
But the girl at the store, I'm like, he looks pretty big. I'm like, do you think he'll fit in a pot? She's like, yeah. She's like, just take him and fucking tuck his tail. And they're like handling him. I'm like, okay. So I like go to
They're kind of gross, eh?
They're water bugs, yeah. They're fucking
They're weird.
yeah, they're weird. They're delicious, but they're
They're
fucking
delicious.
fucking weird.
I let someone else do it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna prepare that shit.
So we wanted to try it. They were on sale too. So we're like, oh,
Whatever.
okay,
fuck
fresh lobster. So you like tuck his tail in, and then you just plunge him in head first, and they're fucking gone like pretty much right away. It's pretty wild.
I can imagine I would be too if someone plunged me into
A boiling pot
hot
of water.
Yeah, it doesn't sound enjoyable.
Like for a delicacy, I guess in quotations, they're one of like the easiest things ever. Like you boil water,
Yeah.
salt the water, put them in there, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, pull them out, and
They're done.
that's the same lobster.
That's
you
it.
That's the same lobster you pay $60 for at the restaurant.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
The
there's
worst
not a
part
whole
though
lot
is
to it.
like getting
make
all
some
the meat
clarified
out,
butter?
like getting the meat out of the fucking.
Well, yeah, that's what I
like,
was gonna say.
that
Like
is
that is not
literally the
worth. That's
worst
not
part.
worth the price of admission. That like
Yeah.
breaking them open, like cracking them. It's way too much work.
Yeah, it's a full fucking day.
But like we got pretty much every piece of meat off them that we could. But
Yeah.
Nice.
they're fickle.
I haven't had
creatures.
lobster in a long time, man.
Neither had we because things have been closed, right? So we're like, fuck, you know
Yeah, of
what?
course.
These things are on special. Let's go grab a couple lobsters. Let's try this fucking game out. This fucking
Yeah,
experience.
why not?
I thought you were gonna say you showed it to Wilson.
No, because he's dumb and no.
Mike got lobsters one day and showed
Maybe
them to
we'll watch
Luna, and Luna was absolutely terrified of these things.
Is Luna a cat?
No, Luna's a dog.
Oh, okay.
Pretty sure she's like,
Can't tell by the name, so sorry.
I think
Just
she's
asking.
Cane Corso, and I don't know what the other one is, but like
Okay.
kind of mean looking dog and just
dog.
a fucking chicken, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, terrified. Apparently, I wasn't there when they cooked them, but yeah, it was like just terrified.
They're creepy looking. I don't blame them.
Well, yeah, neither do I, but fuck, man,
I'm
they're so
afraid of
good.
them.
We used to have them all the time. Like we used to have lobsters all the time when I was
Yeah?
younger. Yeah, like when my grandparents came or we went to my
Oh, yeah.
grandparents, we'd always have like a night where we did lobster. It was just a thing we did.
That's cool.
But yeah, talking
Never
about
cooked one, yeah.
dude, I cooked them. Me and Audrey cooked them. I guess over the summer. Like that was the first time both of us did it on our own.
Hmm.
And I don't really want to do it again.
Yeah, don't blame me.
Like it's a lot of work, and it kind of
Yeah, you can say
stinks
you
up
did.
the fucking house.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's delicious.
Did I ever tell you about so like Calgary's pretty dry. And because of that, like a lot of people suffer from like eczema or like any like kind of dry skin dryness and things
Eczema.
like that. Did I tell you about this?
No. Maybe, I
you
don't
just
know.
thought, like based on what you're talking about, I have a story then. So Brittany had some like pretty bad eczema on her arms, and it was like it's awful stuff because there's not really like a cure, right? Like it's
The
you
only
know, they
thing I'd
give you,
ever
like-
heard that could help with that is like some very specific diets have like been shown to
which
help.
she did.
Maybe
So she eliminated like wheat and corn
Yeah.
and like eggs and everything
I heard,
like that.
keto
to try and
diets
see
were
if that
pretty
was any
effective.
cause, and it really it wasn't helping. And like you could try like topical creams and things like that, or like even if you go to like the hospital or doctors, they have like steroid creams, which is fine, but like you can't use that permanently either.
No, it's
Like,
not a
it just-
it's not a
it's not good.
long term
It's not-
solution.
It's not long term, exactly. So like you end up suffering from this stuff, and it's horrible, right? Like you're itching, you know, sometimes like your skin's
Oh, yeah.
bleeding, like it's brutal. So we were at a friend of ours' place, and just like a couple that we knew, and like one of the guys in the couple, he's Chinese, and his dad owns a traditional
Yeah.
Chinese herbalist shop, and like the 1,000 drawers, kind of all different kinds of medicines and whatnot, like more definitely like Eastern medicine. And he was making dinner for us, and knew that Brittany wasn't eating gluten, and it came up in conversation that at the time this was because of this eczema. And he was like, "Oh man, like I didn't know that was the reason. Like I wish I had known. You got to go see my dad. Like he's got this shop, and like he'll help you out." And like at this point, we're like, "Sure, like,
Anything-
I don't put a ton.
Yeah.
I don't put a ton
I-
of stock into this stuff, but
No.
like, listen, like let's try.
Yeah.
What do you
why
have
not?
to
We'll
lose?
give it exactly." So he's like, "Yeah, it'll totally work." He was telling us a story. You know, they had a friend who had gone to like some South American country, had like lived with a tribe that was kind of like in the jungle, and like while he was living with them, they had like offered him this like rare jungle bird that he had ate, and this caused like a really nasty skin disease for this guy. Like he said, he used to come into the shop and like you could like smell him enter, like he was
Oh
like
my God, like-
rotting, kind of like nasty
He
shit.
was dying.
Yikes.
And this apparently like his dad had cured this.
Jesus.
Like so you were like,
he cured
okay,
it by
like, sure, let's
shooting
give
him
it
in
a
the
shot.
back of the head.
What's that?
He cured it by shooting him in the back of the head.
Yeah, exactly.
Put me out of my
misery.
misery. All right.
So
Boom.
he's like, yeah, you
Cured.
gotta go. He's like, I'll make the appointment for you and everything. He's like, I gotta let you know though, like the ingredients can be kind of scary. And we're like, okay, like what are we talking about?
Like human toenail.
He's like,
baby
you know, he's like snake, scorpions, like things like that.
teeth. Okay.
And it's this tea that you drink. So we're like, okay, like sure. I'm like intrigued because I like love like this kind of shit, right? And so we get to the shop. The guy like inspects her skin. He's like, okay, let's take a look. He's like, yeah, no problem. Like, yeah, give me a few minutes. He gets out some like butcher paper. He's making like a few different packs. And he's like getting ingredients from all these different drawers, and like sure enough, it's like a
Okay, hang
fully-
on. Like, so
Yeah.
this isn't like he's not like, Oh, eczema, and like turns around to like the wall of like bottles and powders.
No, he was
behind.
like, seems like he's making it up.
He's like whipping this up for her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
like custom kind of put together. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah. I just wanted
So like,
to get that part like clear that
yeah,
this guy is just like grabbing shit off the shelf, like a bit of this,
Yeah.
a bit of that, like
yeah, it's not measured. It's like handfuls. Like
yeah.
of, like, things.
All right.
So like the first ingredient is like a full coiled dried snake, like big spiral dried snake.
God.
So I'm like, there's that. There's like a whole bunch of like centipedes, like that are like, they look like candy canes, like they're like dried and full, and he's like cracking them in half. Like handful of like water beetles that are like probably the size of a toonie, and like all kinds of like roots and other crazy shit. And like I was expecting it to be wild. I was looking at it like
that's crazy.
oh my god, like it
That's
was
a
wild.
different level. Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane. So the whole thing was like, he's like, you take this home, you boil this in like 4 cups of water, boil it down to 1 cup, and then you drink that 1 cup. And then he's like, the next day you reserve what's in that pot. You do the same thing, but with 3 cups of water down to 1 cup, and you drink that. So it's like super concentrated, looks like mud.
I would
Like,
say
it's-
so.
Yeah,
Now, before you
It's
left, did
just-
he like grind this up into a fine powder?
like
Oh, so
full pieces.
you brought home snakes, water beetles,
Oh, yeah.
scorpion. Oh, fuck.
into a pot. Now Brittany couldn't look at it,
No.
Fair
I
enough.
guess you can't.
so it was my job to brew this tea for like.
How bad
however
did it
long.
smell?
It smelled bad.
Yeah.
Smelled
like it looked?
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, it smelled like it looks. And like, I have a photo I'll find for you. You can link that in the description of the video below. We also have a link to the,
Also, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Smash the like button.
That's right. Yeah, if you want the
Oh
recipe,
my
don't forget to
God.
follow along.
Yeah. And also let me know your water bug recipe. If you've ever done anything like this
That's right,
before, love to hear
Yeah, I
from it
wanna
in the
know-
comments
Let
section.
us know in the comments.
Down below.
Do you know why they do that? Do you know why they say shit like that? Because
I'm not
that's
finished my
doesn't
story.
it-
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. We always interrupt you, Zach.
That's
Sorry.
right. So like like Brittany, we drank this. I tried it for what it's worth, so I knew what we were getting into. But I think it was like 3 or 4 months of like drinking this like basically every day, and
Ah.
it cured it, man. Like Brittany's eczema is gone.
Never
like, permanently
returned.
gone. Never came back. No more issues. Nothing. Like fully gone.
That's fucking crazy.
But it like
wild.
had to go through some processes. Like they were after like a few weeks of it. They like when we came back, he was like adjusting the recipe.
oh.
So like I opened up the pack one day and there was a whole new bug in there that I hadn't seen yet. And like it was giant. It looked like a wasp, but it was probably like 3 inches long. Like,
oh
it was
my
like,
god.
murder
It was a
hornet.
murder
Huge.
hornet. There you go.
Might have been, man. Yeah, murdered
Yeah.
the eczema. But he was like warning us. He's like, it might get like you might think like your skin's getting worse like for a little bit.
but it's
'Cause it's, like,
actually
fighting-
it's getting better.
It's like fighting toxins with toxins, right? He's like, so like whatever's like causing this, like you're gonna push it out. But like he's like for the first little bit, like it might like look pretty nasty.
He's like, for the first
it was
little
never-
while, you're gonna think you're drinking snakes and water beetles, and you're like, this
Yeah,
has
exactly.
zero effect on my skin. Don't worry,
Yeah.
that's totally normal.
Yeah,
What you
fight-
need to do
fight
is
through
keep
that.
drinking snakes and water beetles,
Yeah.
and eventually, I promise, maybe it'll go away.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But
Sounds like a
the
movie.
point of all
Yeah,
this
it's a
is
hard
that it
sales
totally
pitch.
worked. Like
Yeah.
100% worked. And so like I was blown away at the results. And like I mean, I'm assuming Brittany was too, but I'm a skeptic. So like she's into like, more mystic stuff. So like it may be easier to wrap your head around. But I was totally skeptic.
I would be
And
too.
so yeah, it was pretty amazing to like watch it kind of come together and like totally work. And so now I'm like, man, if I'm ever like in a pinch where I like need a remedy to something that's like really causing me problems, like I'm going back to this guy and be like,
well,
okay, doc, like what do you got? Like start like let's whip up
Let's
a
party.
recipe.
yeah.
Yeah. You know?
You got any dried whale dick in there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what do you got?
She was also in a unique situation where this wasn't her first stop on the fucking cure to her eczema. Like she
Had tried everything else.
She tried everything else, so you know what? You might as well drink the mud water made of snakes.
Yeah, why
And
not?
why not? Like, sure.
It was
What's the
touted
worst that
pretty highly.
happens? I continue to have
Exactly,
eczema
yeah.
that doesn't get
Exactly. If
fixed.
it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
You
At
might
least
as well
try
try it. Yeah.
But it did work. It was fucking crazy, man. So it was like pretty uncomfortable to drink stuff, pretty nasty to make it,
Fuck.
but it worked.
Did he ask to like see her skin like every like couple batches, or was he just like he like knew in his brain where like
I
she
think
would
from
be?
what I recall, there was only like one kind of check-in. Every time we went to go get another pack of it, when I say pack, it was like the guy had like a square of like butcher paper would put all the ingredients in.
Oh,
then
I
he
can
would, like,
picture
fold
it
up
totally.
and tie it with
Yeah.
like butcher's twine. Like it,
Yeah.
it was pretty crazy.
Put it on a scale, be like, that'd be $563.
Yeah. Now I know because it was like the friend of ours, like his dad's shop. I think they were giving us like a pretty good price. So I can't speak to like what this would cost for the average consumer.
No,
But, like,
speak to
we
that,
were-
please. We'd all like to know.
Like I think it was like for what we were paying at least was. I think it was like $100 when we would pick it up, but we were getting like a few packs of it, and that would last you like it was like the month or so. So like it wasn't bad.
It's not
And
bad
like
at all.
at that point, if someone's like, "This is gonna help,"
It doesn't
and
matter
you're
what it is.
suffering.
It could be $1,000.
yeah,
If you-
you're willing to pay.
Yeah, if he showed her like a time thing, it was like, okay, in 6 months this is what it's going to be, and it's going to be gone. It's going to cost you
Yeah.
$5,000. I don't think she'd care. It's gone.
Yeah, who knows, right? Like, there's at what point are you willing to like look past the pains of an expense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
if you know it's going to help.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So yeah, I have like a whole newfound respect for like Eastern medicine. I don't think it's the cure all. Like sometimes it's touted to be, where people say like, "Oh yeah, you can like cure cancer."
It's
Like
definitely
I don't
not.
think so,
No.
but I do think maybe it's got more benefits than like I personally gave it credit for.
Well, what it like there is a lot of fucking herbal medicines out there that have been shown to help in conjunction with other things too.
Yep.
Right?
And
And
I think Western medicine has its place. I think
For
there's lots of
sure.
times where like you got to go to the hospital, you got to go to the doctor,
Yeah.
you got to take like you know what, like I have like those little rollers from Sage, like the peppermint oil. I'll use that
when
for
you
a
have
headache when I've got a headache.
Yeah, we have those
But
in
I'll
our
tell
house.
you what, sometimes my headache's too bad, and then I take an Advil.
Yeah.
And like
'Cause
that's-
those things
that's the
don't work all the
balance,
time.
right? Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Yeah, it's the
exactly.
balance.
Yeah, it's the things that bug me is when people are like, only fucking herbal holistic ways to go, because
Yeah, that's not the way to
because
go.
there's a lot of those things that scientifically do absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
Like
that
they
ain't
don't.
it, chief.
Yeah, like exactly. This shit's not gonna fly. And then it also bugs me when people are like, "No, don't try that. Don't try the
That's right.
herbal shit because it won't do anything." It's like, okay, for
Yeah.
sure it won't. It's like, and then there's all the obvious things like rhino horn. Yes, this absolutely won't do anything because of this. But then there's a
Yeah.
lot of herbs and stuff like that that do work. Like you can put them in baths.
Yeah.
You can put them on your fucking forehead and stuff like that.
Roots, teas, things like that.
Mhm.
Like that stuff stems from like centuries of
Well, here's a common one.
experimentation, and you know,
Here's a common
Yeah,
one that
let's hear
people
it.
don't think of that is
Coffee?
one. Ginger.
ginger. Yeah,
Like ginger's a root. It's a fucking thing that grows to the ground. But everyone
Yeah,
thinks
totally.
about ginger as like, oh, if you're nauseous, if you want to calm an upset stomach, have ginger tea, have this, whatever. And
Yep,
people
but
don't
it's a root.
think exactly. People
Yeah.
don't think of that as like, if I was to like come up to you, be like, hey man, try this root tea. It'll help you with your nausea. Like people would be like, whatever. But ginger is actually one of those ones that's like been proven. Yeah, it works. So
Yeah.
people don't think about it as like fucking hippy dippy potions.
Totally.
But
But,
it-
I mean, like that.
it
That
works.
same, like I said, coffee, but like only like half jokingly. But
No,
like,
but that's also
to a
one.
similar degree, right? Like,
It's also
okay, how
one.
do you like? You're tired in the mornings. Here's like, people have discovered that you know you can make this beverage. You know, it's hot. It's
Concoction.
stimulant.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you go down that train, then that's basically like any kind of drug that we're talking about. You know, nicotine, the same thing. You know, we're talking about smoking earlier. Like that was. I mean, I'll use say like quote unquote medicinal. You know,
Yeah.
at some point.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I'd love
Maybe
to
that's where
like,
it
do
originates from.
I'm sure it does.
Coca leaves, like chewing on coca leaves
Yeah.
for like certain tribes and stuff like that, right?
that chat stuff that they chew on in like Ethiopia and stuff and
That's right.
Somalia. I think that's
Yeah, it just
similar to
gets
like
you
the
high.
coca leaf. Yeah, you just fucking stoned all day on coke.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
You see, Calgary just got its first like magic mushroom therapy clinic.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
I again, like it's not something I've ever dabbled with, but I mean, a lot of people tout the benefits of that and like microdosing and things like to like cure depression and anxiety.
I'm
like,
currently in the middle
let's
of
take
one
go
of
for
those
it, man.
studies.
What's that?
I'm currently in the middle of one of those microdosing.
Are
things.
you?
Yep.
You trying it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of a UBC study.
Really? So what do you think?
So far, I think there's something to it.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
So like you're like really microdosing? Like, are you feeling effects at all?
Nothing.
Or
I feel zero.
really?
Yep.
Huh. That's kind of fascinating. I'd love to
Mhm.
chat more about that. But
Yeah, I've heard a lot of scientists talk about it beforehand. So like
Yeah.
I like heard the benefits of it.
it's been talked about a lot for
And
a few years.
it's
now.
entering more into the mainstream, so you hear about it a bit more. So I
Yeah.
had like thought about trying it, and then there's a UBC study that's doing one, and you can participate in it. It's as easy as doing it through your fucking phone. So
No
I'm
way.
like,
So,
I'm like,
like,
fuck it, I'll try it.
That's pretty cool. So like just like as far as like benefits you're noticing, like mood lift, or like what are you noticing? Can you talk about it? Like
There's a lot of like private stuff, but mostly, but like a big one is like anxiety for sure. I noticed.
yeah, interesting, eh?
Yeah, because like I had like a bunch of shit that like I try to deal with and stuff, and I just
Mhm.
noticed like a general like a general clarity. But again, there's also the
Mhm.
fucking placebo effect that you can't forget about either. So
Listen though, you know what? Like placebo, not if it's
yeah,
working, it's working. Like people always say like, oh man, it's just placebo effect. Like I don't care. Like if you're taking something and the placebo is working, it's still working.
the placebo effect still works. Yeah, it just
Yeah.
is not physically doing
Sure, whether or
anything.
not it's related to the microdose, fair enough. I get what you're saying, but
Mhm.
like, listen, I'll take a working placebo effect over nothing any day.
Yeah, this one's interesting because I don't know if they sort of give you an idea because at the start there's like a bunch of baseline tests. So like there's like a visual
Do they provide you with the product?
yeah, they give you everything. Oh no, no,
Selling
oh
it.
the product? No, no, no. No, because that's not legal.
You have to buy that.
Yeah, yeah. But
Okay.
luckily I generally always have those in my house anyway. So yeah. CJ's been a shaman to a few mushroom trips.
Oh yeah, that's sick. You'd be a good shaman.
He is a good shaman. Highly recommended. So I just literally just bought some capsules and like a more what's the fucking thing?
Mortar and pestle.
That's it. And then I got a scale and put them in. I think mine are like 0.1 of a gram.
Wow.
So like a tenth of a gram or something like that. And
Like every day, every other day.
4 times a week.
Wow, that's cool, man.
4
So,
days
yeah, we
on,
just got
3
one.
days
We just
off.
got one of those clinics for this. I guess.
Yeah.
I think from what I was reading about it, it looks like maybe the service fee to go there is pretty high. But
Well, I'm
like,
sure your benefits aren't going to cover it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, like if the benefits are there, I mean, you could medicate at home. I
Yeah,
suppose.
I honestly think in less than 10 years it's going to be a very mainstream, like there's going to be retreats
That'd be
and
like
stuff
weed.
like that. Yeah, I do. But
Yeah.
I definitely think it should be I don't think it should be as
Maybe just decriminalized.
yeah, I don't think like you should be ordering large quantities of mushrooms.
No, because a lot of people will abuse it.
Well, it's also like it's a bad one to like take too much of and like fuck up. Like you can
Yeah.
like it's not something you want to just go down the deep rabbit hole on.
Yeah, I've heard like lots of people too. If you have like some underlying like medical diagnoses, I think like
Well, it
staring at
points out
yourself in the mirror is a big no-no.
it points out all your bullshit. Like
Yeah.
like when you do like any sort of psychedelic, it's like it's very introspective, I find. At least for
Mhm.
me. Like
Yeah, sure.
I like go through like all my fuck ups and shit. And like some
It's
people
interesting,
like
man.
freak out over that. Or I like just like try to evaluate it and stuff. And then there's other times where like you'll take like a gram, which is like a dose of mushrooms, and you're with friends, and that's like the laughy. You're not really like like
Because you don't
hallucinating.
get to be introspective then. 'cause
Exactly,
there's,
but,
more,
like,
more stimuli.
Exactly, but then if you take that same gram and you're sort of say by yourself, it can work that way too. It's I don't know.
Huh.
It's
I'm intrigued.
yeah, like John Hopkins has been doing studies on it for a long, long time. There's a lot of like mainstream things that are looking into this shit. It's not just like 3 idiots on not on a podcast being like, "Hey, let's start fucking doing mushrooms every day." Like there's a lot of there's a lot of things that like that are backing this stuff up in science that I'm not qualified to explain properly because I just can't
That's cool.
formulate it well.
Yeah.
But
Interesting times, man.
the interesting thing about this one is like they do a bunch of like baseline stuff. So like there's like visual acuity, there's like hearing tests, there's like
Oh wow.
hand-eye coordination stuff, there's like math stuff. There's a whole bunch of things. And then they do that 4 times throughout the like 4-month study.
Crazy.
And then so they want to see how it improves because the things that I was hearing before about this stuff is like it physically like repairs pathways in the brain. So like
Mhm.
neurons or whatever the fuck they are, like they're like road maps in your brain. So like if you have like an anxiety or disorder or you have PTSD,
If it's a
or-
blockage in one of those roadmaps.
it literally is a broken road. So
Hmm.
like there's something in your brain that actually broke, and that's why like when you like hear this song and you go down like into some like PTSD thing or like people get triggered or whatever the fuck, like
Yeah.
for other people in those circumstances.
They're taking a detour.
But I think the psilocybin and stuff has actually been shown to like repair those pathways. So like
Wow.
it like bridges the gap to actually physically help you move past the things that were like problems for you. So it actually like
Well, I know.
can
Yeah, I
fix
know a
your
lot of people
brain.
have spoken to like saying like you mentioned getting rather introspective and stuff, but I think people like talk about it how they like can review these things and not in a negative way and not to a point of like dwelling on it.
No,
But you
yeah.
can come out the other side of your again like quote unquote trip.
Yeah.
And with a clearer understanding, or maybe you've been able to let go of those things now because you like wrapped your head around it during your time.
It's all of
I
those.
just think it's like I think it's really fascinating. Like, and again, like to loop back to what we were talking about, like medicines, etc. Like I think this can stem from that. Like that's natural. You can grow them yourself.
Yep.
You know, like, and I mean, like this.
They're
is
easy
not,
to grow too.
This
I
is
know
not a
people that have
Western.
done them.
Yeah. Exactly. I've heard
Yeah.
they're really easy to grow.
They're creepy
But,
too. Like they're definitely. I think they came here from another planet because
They might have.
when the person I know who grew
Let's
them,
not go down that rabbit hole.
we're gonna go down it right now. When he was trimming them, he was like, I said that tongue in cheek mostly, but when he's like trimming them, like blue ooze comes out of them.
Whoa.
They have like a blood that like it's like
They have
they're
a,
like
they kind of have a blue tint though, don't they? A little
do,
bit,
yeah. yeah. But yeah,
I mean, mushrooms in general. Like if you watch like Planet Earth when they go down like the mushroom rabbit hole there,
they're insane.
like some of them are outrageously weird.
Well, there's
Like all the way they like spread their spores and stuff.
yeah,
and, like
it's
spooky.
it's insane, and also I think mycelium is the thing that connects all life on Earth underneath the soil, like a super highway of plants communicating through mycelium, which is mushrooms, basically stuff that we never see because it's below ground and in the soil and stuff.
Sure.
And there's like they're
Subterranean.
just like tipping the like just chipping off and starting to discover like how interconnected everything is, and that's all through mushrooms and various things too. So I at nothing least it's interesting, and it's
Yeah. Hey. You know, it's part of a
if
study.
it
That's
works,
pretty cool,
it
man.
works. Like I do think like in 10 years, like you'll be able to. The one guy I like listening to about it, he thinks that the best concoction is to put it with niacin, because niacin I think prevents you from actually like experiencing like taking too much of the psilocybin,
Mhm.
like the magic mushroom. Niacin almost acts like as a counter agent. So like if you wanted to like say overdose, like let's say your therapist or doctor prescribed you a bottle of psilocybin pills to help with whatever condition you
Okay.
have down the road in the future. If that shit is cut with niacin and you wanted to say eat the whole bottle and like go to fucking Pluto, I think the niacin will actually prevent you from being able to do that.
Really interesting.
So it's safe.
I like that too.
Whereas if someone gave you a bottle of OxyContin and you wanted to eat the whole thing, there's nothing in that that's going
Yeah.
to stop you from being fucked
Well, there's a
up
whole
on
other
bottle of
conversation. Right?
OxyContin.
Talking about like
Exactly, yeah.
you know the medicinal benefits of things like you know medical marijuana or psilocybin when if it goes that route where it's starting to be prescribed versus
hmm
the prescriptions of any opioids or things like that, like which is more harmful. You know, like I think it's no contest. We have a fucking other pandemic
I
that's
think-
currently existing with opioids.
I think they're both. I think psilocybin and marijuana is also harmful too. Like
It can be, yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, the three of
It's-
us know people that have gone insane from smoking drugs.
Yep.
Right.
That's
Literally,
true.
like I think personally, knowing how my experience with it, luckily I missed a lot of years of smoking weed as a teenager, which
Yep.
in hindsight's probably good knowing what they know now about the brain and how it interacts with THC. I don't I don't think you should be smoking weed until you're probably 25 and have most of your
Yeah.
life together
For
based
full
on
brain development.
for full brain development and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
because there's a lot of people that have had psychotic breaks through
Yeah, man.
THC. There's books written on this shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like-
I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah, no,
like, without its
I agree.
own
I'm just
harms,
saying, like,
but,
just like as a disclaimer.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's no free rides, right? Basically,
That's right.
everything has a cost. So I'm gonna do this thing, and I'm like,
cool.
I think I'm 30% the way through it, and see how it feels after. But apparently,
Cool.
a bunch of athletes have started doing it, and
I would not be surprised.
they're having.
Mike Tyson loves his mushrooms.
And Mike Tyson's eating like 4 grams of mushrooms though, and he's
Like,
Yeah.
getting high as
at-
fuck.
yeah, like
yeah,
that's like a regular thing for him.
I've done.
He
Yeah,
did
well-
it on a podcast, ate 4 grams.
I've done a lot of mushroom. If I ate 4 grams of mushrooms, like that's
You're
that's like
out of
in
this
the
world.
that's like the Terrence McKenna dose. I think.
Jesus.
Like that's like you disappear. That's when time stops and shit. That's when crazy stuff happens.
Yeah, listen, I know myself well enough to know I never want to go down that road. I'll entertain the like microdosing sounds appealing, like as a alternative medicine. We'll put it that way.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, like I know myself well enough. I think psychedelics and me don't mix.
Yeah, and that's
But,
and that's smart. But there's a lot of people and a lot of young people that don't know themselves by that point, and then if mushrooms are readily available, they can fuck themselves up, I would think.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
For sure.
But yeah.
I'd be curious to
Regulated.
see, like, will they send you like this, like, stats or whatever they
That's the only thing I'd like to see after this. Like
like?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Will they, or
'Cause
is
it's-
that kind of like an unknown for you right now?
for right now for me it's unknown because there's a bunch of like, well, it's a daily thing. Like I got to answer a daily questionnaire, there's a monthly questionnaire, and then 4 times throughout the study there's those like tests and stuff.
Right.
It's the tests that I'm interested in seeing because that was the stuff that led me down that I thought was most interesting when I was hearing about this stuff through other parties and like people that study this was like people like again like the repairing of like basically neurons in your brain. So like people that like had like bad hand-eye coordination, they would get good they would show improvements in that. Hearing apparently is improved. Eye visual stuff is improved because these are all part of your brain basically,
Yeah.
right?
Your cognitive function.
Yeah, like the eyes are part of the brain. It's just they're external.
Yeah.
So like they can be improved with this stuff. So that's what I would like to see. I would like to see at the end like some sort of general summary as to like, hey,
Yeah, that should be part of the study. You should get your stats back.
Well, I don't know if I will. It's super anonymous because it's not
Oh,
strict.
okay.
It's not strictly legal, right?
Right. Okay. Yeah, it's one of those like we're reaching out to like potential users.
Well, there's a lot
To
of
see if we
there's a
can-
lot of disclaimers that you sign, right? Because it's
sure,
not
sure.
it's not exactly legalized in Canada.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
not there
I
yet.
think it's decriminalized to a certain extent.
Yeah, I
but-
think it's on its way. Like that's
Yeah.
why it's interesting to kind of
like
watch.
I don't think they're kicking in people's doors, but
Well, what you're going through right now is paving the road for it later down.
yeah, I'm a
like,
hero.
so
Thank you,
that-
Zach.
so
I
that-
was thinking that. Yeah. You're right. I am bettering humanity.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
knew
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Chris
Thanks-
is a
thanks for
hero.
your sacrifice.
Anything I can do,
Thanks
you
for
know.
it's true,
paving
like,
the road.
Yeah.
You're the older
when
brother.
it does come time to like when it does come time to maybe like look at where the future of psilocybin medication like does fall, they can reference things like that study. Okay, well, here's what we looked at. Here are the results we got.
Mhm.
Like those things have to happen. I mean, somebody's making decisions based on some kind of data
Yeah.
right now. I mean, you're providing that data.
Yeah. You're welcome, humanity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he,
I
he,
guess.
he's everybody's big brother. He's paving the road
Mhm.
for us.
That's right.
Let me do it for you, so that
Christopher, you're my hero.
All right.
Oh,
I think we
shit.
got to wrap this
Want to
up.
wrap it up, Zach?
That was a
Thank
blast,
you for
Zach.
coming on, man.
Thank you so much.
That was fun, guys.
It's nice chatting with you. It's
Yeah, I
been a
liked it.
while.
Yeah. We should do this
Yes.
non-podcast form
Yeah, we
soon
should.
as well.
Yeah.
Anytime, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were pretty good about video calls at the beginning of the pandemic. I'd like to see you guys more frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm into that.
Cool, brother.
Do you want to do the quick shout outs and then we'll pack this shit up? The usual wrap ups.
Oh, yeah. Hit us up at mail.twoseasonapod@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook at 2seasonapod. And you can also now find us, by the time you're hearing this, there will be one episode out on our YouTube channel and another coming, which will be tomorrow for you guys, but Thursday. And then going till we're caught up on episodes, there will be an episode released Monday and Thursday on YouTube. Till we're caught up. Once we're caught up, it'll be once a week. It'll drop every Monday. And thank you for listening. Zach, thank you again.
Thanks, Zach.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you. That was fun.
See you guys.
See ya.
We're out. Deuces.